Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And yeah, we've got a busy week of football. Obviously, Chelsea are playing Zenit on Wednesday, which we'll be doing a preview a bit later on. Was thinking of doing the debate show, but you know what? I thought January's round the corner. Transfer window's going to be opening. Chelsea are in a bit of an injury crisis at the moment. Lots of talk about Chelsea maybe potentially buying players. So why don't we go through them all? Why don't we actually go through who we think's realistic for January and maybe even summer? We can talk about both ways. You guys get involved in the chat. Tell me if you think this could possibly happen or not. Lines are going to be open later in the show, guys. Later in the show, got loads of tabs right above my head of different things to go through to you with you. So make sure that you are relaxed, you're chilled, you got your drink, you got your food. You're cozy, because in England, I don't know where you guys are at the moment, but in England, it is crap. It is miserable. It is wet. It is, ugh. Like, honestly, who would want to go out the door this Monday? I do not know. All I know is that GNA TV is back. Show for you guys. Before we move forward, you know what time it is. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people! Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And Matty K, Bex is in the chat. She will send you the Discord link. So, Bex, please put the Discord link for the viewers in the chat. People that ain't joined the app, the Discord app, go and get yourselves followed over there. We've had a couple of new people join us recently as well. So, make sure that you go and follow us on Discord. The link will be available soon once she puts it. It's also in the description. Sorry, guys. It should be in the description below, if I'm right in saying. Let me check. Sure, I'll put it in the description. Yeah. If you literally click the link, it will open up the description below. It says join the community Discord. The link's there. Go and do that and then come back. Big up to everyone in the chat. But we are going to be talking transfer news. And what we're going to do today, as January is around the corner and Chelsea are supposedly in a bit of a transfer crisis, is we're going to go through all of the links, all of the players that are linked to our football club. And we're going to talk about it. Can it happen in January? Will Chelsea spend money in January to bring these players in to strengthen in certain areas? Is the depth that Chelsea currently have maybe not at the level? Maybe just not at the level that's required? That is something else that we're going to delve into. We're going to talk about players leaving as well, a bit of both. So obviously loads of players coming in that we've been linked with, players that are leaving as well or still haven't sorted out their contracts. Bex has put the link in the description for you guys already. So there it is. If you want to join us on the Discord group, go and click that link. Before I move forward, please continue to hit them likes. Please subscribe if you're new. I think we're 3 away, literally 3 away from 3.3k. So I'm sure we can get that done today. If any new people in the chat, let's go through the viewers anyway before we get straight into the transfer news. Like I said, the lines will be open a bit later. Yeah, not now, a bit later. Big up to Jim is what Andre says. Big up to him. Big up to Couch Critic in the house. Hope you are well, Couch. We've got Wayne in the house. Big up, Jim. Big up to you, my guy. Nice to see you. Football Style. Matty K. Big up to you. Beck, same. Hey, Jem. Hey, Couch. Hey to you. Noah, big up German question. If Barca are in Europa on Wednesday, what will you do? Laugh. Because that is, I mean, there's always the time for the first of many things, you know what I mean? And Barcelona are on a decline. So to see Barcelona in Europa is just weird. But yeah, it is what it is. Big up to Matt Smith in the house as well. Can't lie, needed more GNA TV last week. I know, sorry, bro. I was on a little break. But look, when I'm not on a break and I'm here, I'm consistent. I'm always trying to think to bring you guys some sort of show, something that can take your minds off whatever it is that you may be doing in the day, if you're bored or whatever else. We're here. We are here. Audio AC, big up to you. Bill, big up to you. Untaker CFC, big up to you. DJ Sav J in the house, my guy, big up to you. No, Arteta out is what Sentiment FC is saying here. He's not happy. Nice to see an Arsenal fan in the chat. I'm joining Chelsea in the summer, is what Kylian Mbappe is saying. I mean, you're going around Madrid, mate. I haven't created a transfer show to talk about Mbappe, trust me. We ain't even been linked to him. You are on the 52-inch, so let's put on a top show like normal. Yes, man. Come on. Come on. Big up to you. I must look really bad on a 52-inch right now. I've just got back from the gym. I look really bad. But who cares? Who cares? Let's move. Anyway, people, do what she says there. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Please do all of that as well. Ads is so excited about Fred. All he's been doing is talking about his love for this player. Literally, he's so happy that he scored yesterday. He's even in the backgrounds dancing at the moment. So yes, big up to Ads. All right, guys, let's delve into it. Yeah, let's get into the chat because we will be opening up the lines a bit later. We'll go through all of the links that Chelsea are linked to in terms of players. Whether they will happen, will they not? Could they happen in the summer if they don't happen in January? Could we look to bring loanees back to cover that area? Who will be going? All of that stuff. We're going to go through everything today, literally everything. So it's not it's not news like, oh, this is what's happened. And, this is more of us reviewing the transfer news that's related to Chelsea and then opening up the lines and getting your thoughts and opinions on that as well. Over 32 of you here, so continue to hit them likes. Never trust Chelsea with transfers. They either wait way too long or they don't get him at all, is what Ollie Wasey's saying. Do people agree? D-Stretch is in the house. Big up to you, my bro. I hope you're well. Let's move. The first area that we are going to start with is actually not players coming in. We're actually going to start. We're going to start with... I've got so many tabs open. I don't even know. 1 second. I literally have to check the tabs. Check the tabs. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah. We're going to start with the talks on this guy. When I find him. You have to bear with me because I have got so many things open right now. There we go. Andreas Christensen. Now, there are talks that recently, there have been talks that Tuchel's been saying that part of the reason why he hasn't been playing games is because he's been effing around with his contract. The reason he's kind of dropped him is to put a bit of pressure on Christensen to make the decision as to whether he wants to stay at Chelsea or not. Now, I don't see Andreas Christensen going anywhere. He certainly ain't going to be going anywhere in January. I tell you that now. Summer, I know that their contracts run out then. But in terms of Andreas Christensen, I really don't see him going. I think it will be sorted. I do think that if he is trying to get a little bit more, maybe Chelsea may do that, but they will not be held to ransom. And the big example of them not doing that is for example, like the situation with Rudiger. So, the reasons why Andreas Christensen hasn't played for Chelsea since the Burnley game is because of his contract situation is the talk we had recently. I know he played against West Ham, didn't have the greatest of performances. I do hope that we do come to some sort of agreement with him very soon because he is a player that I think we need to keep because Rudiger does leave. We're still going to need two individuals. We're going to talk about the players potentially coming in to replace, not him, but maybe the likes of Rudiger as well. But he needs to be at the football club. He's still very young. He's still very talented. He still offers a lot to this football club. And as much as I banter him, and I do banter him, let's get it right. I do banter him a lot. He is integral to everything that we do going forward in the future because he is experienced. He is one of the experienced boys. And it's an issue that I think we have to address because they're both still we're not clear on anything. Like I said, things can change in January. Rudiger may still stay. Christensen may go. It might surprise you. I just think that either or will stay. If we can keep two, great, because then it means for me that we only need one more defender in the summer to bring in. If Rudiger leaves, we need two. The issue we have at the moment is that with Rudiger, we know that him and his agent are waiting until January to make a decision as of where they're going to do or what they're going to do. Will he stay? Will he go? At the moment, it's looking very peak for Chelsea. Very unlikely that Rudiger is going to be a Chelsea player. But it is what it is. It's definitely something that we have to take into consideration. And Chelsea, from their perspective, the board, the football club, they will need to know sooner rather than later because we will need to start looking at our targets. We will need to start maybe reaching out and negotiating I think Chelsea would like to know in January. I think they would like to know whether Christensen is happy with his contract, he's going to stay, and if Rudiger is 100% going to leave. And the reason I say that is because they will have the opportunity to go and approach other agents about certain players that maybe be on their list for summer. Now, both of these end up going, which is the worst case scenario, then we're going to need 2 or 3 defenders. You're going to need at least 2 high-profile defenders and maybe 1 as backup, which I don't see happening. If one of them goes, you're still going to need 2, maybe 1 high-profile and another one that ain't as of a high profile that you can maybe grow into the team and just mix with the players and hopefully come good at a later stage. So these two contract renewals are still up in the air, guys. We are still waiting to hear back, which I hope we hear by January in terms of Andreas Christensen and Rudiger, an update on where we're at with them. But I wouldn't say they're the outs. I know I put ins and outs, but at the moment it's a bit up in the air with them. What are people saying in the chat anyway? Because we are going to move. Rudy will stay. Rudy's gone is what Matty's saying. We need a DM and centre back. Yeah, we're going to delve into all of it. Trust me. Big up to Declared in the house as well. This is big up chat. Big up to you, my guy. Nice to see you. Well, what are the offers on the table for CFC? Good point. From what we've understand, apparently Chelsea have offered Rudiger around 170,000. I don't think that's the case. I do think we've offered him a little bit more, yet we still haven't heard any more as to whether that is true. In terms of Andreas Christensen, I've heard that he's been given a wage structure of around 140,000 a week. He's now probably seen the likes of people like Rudiger, etc., trying to push for some more money, and maybe he's thinking to himself that he can do the same. So, Chelsea are in a position where I don't think they'll be held to ransom. I do think they'll want to negotiate and keep the players, but it's just making sure that both parties are happy. And at the moment, I think Chelsea are happy to give something that maybe the players are not happy for. So, I do think Christensen will be fine. I do think we'll sort it out. I think Rudiger at the moment is looking a bit peak. It does look like he may go. And even if we do win the title, I think that's more of a reason that he may leave the football club to move on, because he'd won the Champions League, he won the Premier League. Maybe he'd want something different in his life. That might be part of the reason. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out later next year on them too. Now, I want to talk about potential players that could be coming in. One of them being this guy. Now, there's a lot of talks about Jules Koundé to Chelsea and how serious it is. Obviously, there's this little comment from Chelsea Mercato who says that Jules Koundé and Trevor Chalobah are now interacting. Little hints, comments. Trevor commented on Jules' post describing his outfit cold. Koundé replies with the eyes, which often refers to look out, which could be a cryptic clue, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so if you could see it here, Chalobah's put a comment to Koundé, just to say, like, wow, you're looking good. So basically, what they're basically saying is, they are following each other. Does that link him anything to maybe wanting to move to Chelsea, either in January or in the summer? Now, a bit of a funny picture of me to put up of Jules Koundé, but yeah, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of blimmin' shoes. Blimey. How many shoes has this man got? In terms of what I think, and I want your thoughts and opinions in the chat as well. We're going to go through each individual player that's been linked to that football club. Will it happen in January, or will it happen in summer, or will it just not happen? That's what I want to hear from you when we go through each individual. I'll give you my thoughts. I think Jules Koundé, in terms of a percentage of him coming to Chelsea in January, is 70-30. 70 being that he don't, 30% being that he might. Do I think he can come in the summer? Yes. In terms of percentage, I'd probably say, I actually still think we're in pole position. So I'd probably say 60 to 70% yes and 30% no. I don't see Sevilla getting rid of one of their best players in their, one of the best defenders in their team in the period. I haven't been following Sevilla. I don't know if they're in Europa League or wherever they are, to be honest. I don't really know how well they're doing. But I don't see any football club getting rid of an individual that they can't maybe replace in January. Because January, When you think about January in the past, there has been some big names that have turned up. I think of Fernando Torres coming to Chelsea for a big deal in January. But you don't really see high-profile players leaving mid-season from football clubs to come, unless they're really pissed off. Now, the only real thing I would say in terms of Jules Koundé is that if he does want to leave and he does want to, he wants something new straight away in January, for this to happen, he will have to push it in January. Chelsea will have to know that he wants to push it so that they can obviously prepare themselves to make an offer. And at the same time, Koundé is going to have to push to leave in January. Now, if he doesn't, which I don't think he will, then we'll look to summer. I think Jules Koundé is probably a better. I think Jules Koundé is better. Is a better option to try and get in the summer, based on the fact that we've got contracts like Rudiger and Christensen and others up to date. Now, a lot of people are saying, but we might need him now. Chalobah's injured. What if Rudiger gets injured because he's playing a lot of games, or Silva's out? We don't know how long Chalobah's going to be out for. We have still got Aspie. We need him for January. We haven't got enough depth at the back. We have still got someone in the name of Malang Sarr who still plays for our football club, but people moan about the level of quality that Chelsea currently have at the moment. And it is a big question mark, because the level of quality that Chelsea do possess in out of the main 11, shall we say, maybe isn't there. And we have seen it in certain games. So do we need to start piling up some good, decent, high-profile players in January as backup to push us on the title charge going into May? That would be my question to you guys. What are people saying in the chat about this? Jim, if Barca are in Europa, we party together. Yeah, tell me about it. Rudy will stay. It will silly for us to let him go, despite him not being happy with the contract. The contract I've offered him, I am 100% confident it will be sorted. It was DJ Subject. I'm gonna tell you something though, bro. I don't think many people share that same feeling. I don't think they do. Not in a horrible way. I just think a lot of people think that it's not going to happen, and I don't really blame them. To be honest. Guys, continue to get them likes up. We're only on 22 likes. Over 50 of you guys here right now. Just try and get them up. Big up to Almighty Blues in the house as well. All good, bro. Nice to see you. Roadman Rudy, more money, 200k plus, then AC 170 plus bonus. Trev Christensen and Koundé inject it, is what Bex is saying. Koundé being linked to Chelsea is, for me, my feelings on Koundé. I want him. He is one player that I've wanted, even back when we didn't get him in the summer. He just brings versatility. He has got a lot to improve on still in his game. He's not the complete finished article, don't get me wrong. But he is someone that will really help this squad. Next summer, I think, is what people are saying. Well, summer. We are getting Attila Sazali in January. Do you remember that? How ridiculous was that? We were getting Attila Sazali, man. Fucking hell. How about Christian Koundé swap deal in Jan? If neither player are happy at their respective clubs, it makes sense. I hope Christian signs his new contract. What do you think about that, viewers? Do you agree with DJ Sabjay? Koundé in, Christensen out? I don't really think it solves anything, DJ, unless Rudiger stays. Because if Rudiger goes in the summer and we switch Christensen with Koundé, we're still going to need two defenders. That's the issue for me. That is it. Can Jules be our cover at left wing back, at right and right wing back? Yes, is the answer to that. And I can answer that comfortably. Do I think that Tuchel will play him there considerably? No. But if Rudiger had to have a break, Koundé can play there. His ability to progress out with the ball, his ability to be able to be very direct, always looking forward, always looking straight. He's not really a side. He'll do the sideways pass, but when he picks the ball up, he's good with the ball. His feet, he can dribble, which I know a lot of people don't want to see as a defender, but he can move forward with the ball very comfortably, create, pass, shoot, can even score a goal. I think he's definitely one I want to see for the future of this football club. Definitely, because we will have a new batch, a new mold of players soon. Because some of them are getting on the older side. Smash the likes, subscribe, and join the Discord, as Beck says, please. Is Trev better than Koundé? the- I don't know is the answer to that. I would say that Trev's done very well from what we've seen up to now, other than with Kunde, he's been doing it consistently for a longer amount of time. So I wouldn't compare them. I would just say that they're both quality defenders that would be very good for this football club, I think. But this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, you know. But you also need to remember Aspie is getting old as well. Exactly that. Great player, but less playing time. Kinde is my number 2 target. Okay, well, we're going to get you a number 1 target because I'm assuming it is the next individual which I'm going to bring up. So there it is on Kunde. I don't think he will come in January. Not yet. Even though I'd like to see him come. I think you'll see Chelsea push for him in the summer, especially in the fact that Rudiger, maybe even Christensen, who I think we will sort out, have not signed. I disagree with that. Almighty Blue. I don't think he's better than Koundé. I think they're both very good defenders, both very young, both have a lot to improve on. I don't think Trevor Chalobah's a complete defender. I've watched him in certain games where his lack of experience and knowing, etc., have caught him out. But overall, his performances have been very good. And how long may it continue? But in terms of Jules Koundé, and if he can play as a first choice centre back, if we switch the system, which we might have to do later on, this 3-4-3 for me can't continue for the next 2, 3, 4 seasons if Tuchel's still manager. We will have to adapt. We will have to adapt because teams will solve us. Teams will know how to play against us. So for me, it's he can play centre back. He definitely can play centre back, 100%. I don't know. I mean, look, that's your preference. That's your preference. If that's what I mean, if that's how you think, if that's what you think, then that's fine. You might be right. Does Tuchel want Koundé? That's my question. I feel like Chelsea tend to buy players without having a discussion with the manager. I don't think that's the case anymore. I do agree that we did do that in the past, but I think moving forward, I think Chelsea don't do that. It's time we play 3-4-3. I'd like actually to get the best out of Lukaku, which is what a lot of people keep saying. We need to get the best out of Lukaku. I think the best way to play would be a 4-3-1-2. That's what we should really be playing. But we're going to move on. Let's move on from Jules Koundé because he's one of many that I've still got a blooming throw through here. We're going to go on to this guy because again we have been linked with him. He is another top defender. He is an individual that is touted as being still one of the best young defenders in the game at Juventus. Matthias de Ligt. Now, this is one definitely for me that is not going to happen in January. So Chelsea being linked to De Ligt is Juventus are no way in hell going to entertain Chelsea on De Ligt in January, even if we are looking to strengthen the squad because of our injury crisis. I think you'd see De Ligt maybe coming to Chelsea in the summer. Do I want him? I think he's a good enough defender. He's a talented defender. If Rudiger leaves, we do need that aerial presence, that strength, and I think De Ligt gives you that. We're not good from corners. We don't score many, in 15 corners or whatever that we had in the most recent games. We're losing battles in the corners. We haven't got height. Charles Bar and Thiago Silva on the other occasion gets a goal. Rudiger on the other occasion gets a goal. But this guy is a very talented defender. Quick, strong, aerially very good, can score a goal from a corner, a big problem. Something that I think will give Chelsea something completely different and also allows Chelsea to adapt the system. Completely allows them to switch the system. So if they wanted to play a back 4, he would be your man. Him with Silva, him with whoever, whoever we bring, Christensen, Rudiger if he stays. My question is, can Chelsea go and buy a player like him for, don't know how much he's coming out at the moment. There's no talks about in terms of how much he's going to cost. And still pay him in anything in the regions of the 100,000s in wages. I think he's going to demand more than that. I think he's going to want around 200 plus K in wage. But then us going to buy De Ligt defeats the object of Rudiger. Because if Rudiger did want, I don't know, say Rudiger wanted 220K, but De Ligt wants 230K, and we go and buy De Ligt, it doesn't add up, does it? It doesn't make sense why the football club would do that. So my thing of this would be, we could potentially get him in the summer. If Rudiger leaves, he could be the first choice. He might not even, Koundé might not be him. It might be that Chelsea want Koundé and De Ligt. I do think we need 2 defenders. I hope we go and get 2 defenders if Rudiger still leaves, because we are going to need to strengthen them. Thiago Silva and Aspi, they're going. They're not. They'll give you another season. You know, they will give you another season, but we do need to start thinking of the future. He's definitely not someone that's going to come in January, though. 100%. This is definitely a summer move, but there will be other clubs interested in him who possibly can afford him. You know, as well. So bear that in mind. What are people saying in the chat? 4-4-2 and get Chiesa, put him along with Lukaku. Pray to God they both will combine. Fair enough. Captain Delit. Delit is a captain material. That's something he does have. Yeah, and we maybe lack that captain leader legend material, should we say? Maybe we do. Maybe we do miss that. But he is a player that is still being chased. You know, he's still being talked around in the on the social medias from journalists. The lit serious ceiling is ridiculous for me. Better option than Koundé. Fair enough. Fair enough. I hear that. I'm not even denying that. The lit has history of dodgy shoulder problems if seen Juventus all or nothing series is what RC says. There you go. Are we going to have an issue that we bring him in and he plays a lot of games and he ends up suffering with quite a lot of injuries? And then we're back to square one. And if we don't have that second defender, which I keep saying we do need to go and get, then maybe it becomes an issue. De Ligt's better in the 4 at the back than 3. Fair enough. De Ligt will be 50 million plus. Big up to Jose in house. Guys, continue to hit them likes. Over 60 of you here. Subscribe as well. We're only 3 away from hitting 3.3k. So if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Massively helps us. Thank you. If he's going to want 200k, just keep Rudiger, is what Pedro says. I hear that. Silva is different to Aspi. Silva will still play like he's 27, while Aspi plays like he's 97. Maybe due to position. I hear that. Rudiger looked shaky in the past few games, what Ultra's saying. Again, I don't disagree. Yeah, so it's definitely someone that can happen a bit later on. We have to wait and see with De Ligt. But in terms of, before we move on to the midfield, because we are going to move on to the midfield next, we do need to start thinking ahead. You know, we have got talented players that are in the academy, La Cobem. You know, you look at Mwambua, the guy that we got from Barcelona, big, tall, physically strong, good with the ball at his feet, pacey. I've watched him on and off here and there. He is definitely one for the future. Maybe Chelsea should start looking more in depth. Maybe Chelsea will, you know, I don't mind Chelsea going to buy one profile, De Ligt, Koundé, whoever. Go do that. But then maybe go and look at your academy for once. We have a very good academy. Let's say for once. That's quite bad because we do look at academy. I'll take that back. I just think I think we could really benefit from one, especially if Rudiger leaves, one high-profile defender and then one player, maybe from the academy, and Mwambua, who I don't even know how to say his name, Umbuamba. I think that's his. I need to get it right because if he's going to be a Chelsea player in the future, we can't be saying his name wrong. Colwill as well is a big shout. A lot of people bigging up him as well. Yeah, definitely them two. You know, there's also talks about who's the other guy. I will talk about him later. I've got him to talk about later, actually. But yeah, no, Mwamba and Colwill definitely 2 players we could look to bring back with a high-profile player, either a De Ligt or Koundé. That won't happen in January. I don't see Chelsea spending money on the defence in January for a high-profile player. We will just have to stick with what we got. But definitely 2 individuals that are being spoke about a lot in De Ligt and Koundé. So we have to see what happens. Couch overuse isn't an excuse. Example, JWP. I use it talking with each other. All right, cool. Let's move. Midfield. Let's delve in. Let's delve into the midfield, which is the next area that I wanted to talk about. Let me just quickly check which one. All right, cool. So we are going to talk about this guy, a guy that we are heavily linked with still, Declan Rice. Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel and Declan Rice. I am absolutely aware that Declan is a Chelsea boy and he comes through the academy and he's very close to our guys. Declan is an important member of the England team, so it speaks for itself. So that was a comment that Fabrizio Romano brought out a little while ago, actually, 3rd of December. There's also other news building up and escalating that Chelsea are willing to pay anything in the regions to 100 million for Declan Rice. Now, it's only Chelsea and Man United that are supposedly interested in bringing this individual in. Again, we are in a squad crisis. We will maybe look to bring in January. Are we going to look to spend 100 million on Declan Rice and bring him in January, knowing that West Ham are in such good form and they're going to let him go? Hell no. So I would say this is a 99.9% definite no. He is definitely one for the summer. He is an option in the summer. I have always been a bit sceptical of him coming into this football club, Declan Rice. I do think he's a decent player, playing very well at West Ham, but the levels are completely different when you come to this football club at Chelsea. And yes, it might be a case that he comes and he elevates even better and he becomes the player that we needed that unlocks the system and allows us to switch it. Because one of the things that we struggle to switch our system on, the reason we struggle to switch our system on is because of the players that we currently have. They can't adapt to maybe different systems. Maybe. I'm not saying we haven't seen it yet, but maybe Declan Rice allows that to happen. But Declan Rice, for me, definitely comes in the summer if we do get him. My biggest issue with Declan Rice is how much that they West Ham want for him. 100 million for a DM, for me, is too overpriced. Chelsea cannot go and buy 100 million Declan Rice. I don't see the point of it. Now, is he one for the future? Yes. His contract ends in 2025, which we know isn't around the corner. He's got a good 3-4 years still to do so. Do Chelsea need to get him now is my thing. Can we get him? Is he one for the future for Chelsea? Of course. Could we go and get him 2 years down the line? Yes. Could we then risk losing him because Man United or whoever else might get him now? Yes. But I don't think Chelsea should go and buy a Declan Rice, in my opinion, unless we get rid of a Kante, Jorginho or Kovacic. And even if we do that, say Kante leaves in the summer, which could be a potential, and we go and buy a Declan Rice, I still think we're going to need another midfielder. You already see that we struggle currently in our injury crisis in midfield with only having 3 central midfielders, proper central midfielders in Kante, Kovacic and Jorginho. So, how long is left on the deal? It's 2025, if I'm right in saying, is his last thing. So, big up, ladies and gentlemen. No Uncle Ben's Rice, please, is what Nick Blue's saying. Conor Gallagher, we're going to talk about all that in a second, actually. We go and get rid of Kante and we bring in Declan Rice. We're still going to have to go and buy someone else. So this thing of, do we get Tchouaméni or do we get Declan Rice? Why can't we just get both? I actually think we need to strengthen the issue that we have, and it falls on the defenders here, is that Rudiger and Christensen's contracts, if we'd have just sorted them out, if they were just still Chelsea players, we could have maybe just bought in one player, one defender, or maybe just got away with it for another, especially if Thiago Silva commits, which he has done, and then just just concentrated on the midfield and just strengthened. Maybe let one of them go in Jorginho or Kante if they decide to go on, and brought in Tchouaméni and Declan Rice. But then it's for me, Declan Rice, the issue is the price. So if Chelsea were to bring him in, I don't think we should spend any more than 60 to 65 million. That's maximum for me on a play like Declan Rice. Will Rice be? Well, Rice will be 80 to 100 million. Tchouaméni will be 40. Well, apparently, Tchouaméni is going to be 40 to 50 million. He is definitely one for the summer. Again, it doesn't solve our issues in January. So we won't be looking to bring in any high-profile players in January. I'll be shocked if Chelsea go and buy an individual like this and bring him in. I think we should just loan Billy Gilmour back off loan. Yeah, let's talk about it. Because we have got players out on loan that could probably come in. Conor Gallagher is another one that gets touted about coming back. Could he do that in January? Do Chelsea need a Declan Rice? Can they just go and get a Tchouaméni, keep the 3 that we currently have, and bring in Conor Gallagher as well? Would that be enough? I think we have options because the players that are out on loan are performing very well. My thing with it, though, is that I kind of still do want them to stay where they are because of experience. Experience is key. Experience and consistency. Now, Billy Gilmore, on the other hand, I would bring back 100%. I'd bring back Conor Gallagher, unless we get rid of the Barclays and some other individuals in that midfield. I wouldn't bring him back. But at the same time, we could go and buy too many, bring in Billy Gilmore, let Jorginho go. Let's just say Jorginho leaves at the end of the summer, at the end of this season, and you've still got another two players in that position. Come back, one back from loan and one you bought in. Declan Rice, you bought him 80 or 60 million, 65. I hope we don't get it for 80, 90. Too many in Billy Gilmore with Kante and Kovacic. I don't know, but it's an option, is what I'm saying. We've got options. We definitely, yes, Gallagher and too many is what people say in chat. Gilmore has been meaty for Norwich, but he's playing in a Norwich team that is meaty anyway, Rams. That would be my issue. He plays in a team that is meaty. Too early to call Gallagher, but Gilmore wouldn't be a bad option since anyways that... Look, and we are talking about January because it is round the corner. Players that I think Chelsea might just... There's no point of Chelsea just going and spend money. I think we could potentially bring players back from them. I think Billy Gilmore would be a big shout. I think he would help. I think Billy Gilmore back in the team. I actually also think too many and Declan Rice are summer deals. I don't think we look for that. So maybe just look at what we got and what's out at the moment, bring him back. Billy Gilmore coming in, cover, cool. Him, Ruben, Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic. Hopefully the other two, Jorginho and Kovacic, Kante and Kovacic come back fit. So that but at least we have the option. So if we do lose two again, but Billy Gilmore can come in and play there. It gives us more options, is what I'm saying. Not gonna lie, Gilmore under Smith looks good. Under Fark, he was meaty. Should have gone to another decent team, maybe. No, Bex, he's not on our books. Couch is going back and forwards with Velve. Jem, does the clause allow Billy Gilmore to return halfway? I do believe, and I don't know, I might be wrong, so don't hold me to it, that any individual that Chelsea loan out to a Premier League team at the beginning at the beginning of seasons, if we are to call them back, there has to be a mutual agreement that that number one, the player wants to, number two, the clubs want it. It can't just be that Chelsea go, come back now, and he don't want it. I don't think it works like that. I think you have to go. You have to say, look, we want to bring him back. The player goes, I want to go. And then I think that the club have to allow it. The club that he's at has to allow it because he's only on a loan deal. I don't know what in terms of implications, what happens with money and stuff. I don't get it, but we'll have to see. But Declan Rice is definitely one that is going to be for the summer. If not for me, later on. Maybe not in this summer, maybe next summer. If he stays at West Ham another season. Because let's get it right. It's good that West Ham are doing well. Let's get it. Because he might just want to stay there still for a little bit more. They might get Champions League this season. They might want him to stay. They might give him an extra bit of money. That'd be a good thing for Chelsea. I think. But at least we know that no other rival is going to take him. And then later on, when his contract gets close, which is at 2025, maybe 2023, 2024, where the value starts to drop, the contract, etc. Go for him. Go for him then. Makes more sense, is what I'm saying on Declan Rice. But let's move from Declan Rice and we move on to quickly a little bit of a discussion on this guy. Because last season, Chelsea had the opportunity to sign him anything under, I think it was under 30 million. 28 or 20. It was something around that region. We didn't. We chose not to. And now his value's gone up since he's been where he is at the moment at Monaco. And he's now anything in the regions of up to 50 million. Maybe just a bit more. Now, that might not be true. Chelsea might still be able to get him for 40. It's not been confirmed specifically how much Tchouameni he is. But he is another option. He's a player that has the ability, which is quite close to a Declan Rice. Obviously, Declan Rice is Premier League proven. Do I think Chelsea will get him in the summer? In the January window? No, I don't think we'll get him in the January window. I think the injury crisis that we currently have will rely on us to maybe bring back some loanees. But Chelsea going to spend 50 million on Tchouameni and bringing him in Monaco is more likely to be done in Declan Rice. I still don't think it'll be done, but it's more likely to happen in Declan Rice. I think Chelsea could probably offer 40 million in January if we were really needy. Say Kante and Kovacic were not getting back, we were struggling. We can't find anyone, and Ruben and Jorginho's not working. Billy Gilmore gets called back. Too many gets brought in. There is your, what's the word? Gone brain dead. there is your, there is your ammo. Sorry, there is your ammo. There is your ammo. Gem, who's better out of RSC and Gallagher? I'd edge RFC. Two different players completely, again, for me, in the way that they play. Both top players, both lucky that they're Chelsea as well. So, maybe we could see both of them on the same team one day. Tchouameni may be a bargain compared to Rice. Samir, I agree, 100%. In terms of the money, I keep moaning. Rice is not, for me, is not 100 million. You do not go and spend 100 million odd pounds on a DM. You just don't do that. You just genuinely don't do that. So Tchouameni is definitely the cheaper option. Will he be more comfortable on maybe being on the bench if Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic are fit and maybe mixing in between? Yes. If they are injured, would he start straight away? Yes. Does he allow us to change the system? Does Tchouameni allow Chelsea to change their system? Potentially. A lot of people say he's better going forward than he is sitting. Some people say that he's very good with the ball at his feet. Couch mentioned it earlier here. Yes, please. Looks a complete midfielder, is what he feels. 30% of West Ham, Chelsea commentary revolved around Mount Rice's friendship. I'm not ready for that full time, is what she's saying there. Buy Tchouameni and Rice, and we are covered in the midfield for the next 3 seasons. I agree, but not at the same time. Go and get Tchouameni this summer or in January, maybe, which I don't think will happen. And go and get Declan Rice a little bit later down the line because West Ham are doing very well. They might not want him to go. They might be in Champions League next season. They're going to want him to stay. They will all want him to stay. So, big up to my boy Daniel in the house. He says, why do you all think this kid will be cheap? I reckon I actually think he'll be around 50. I might be wrong. We haven't really been told how much Tchouameni will be, but Declan Rice is definitely going to be 100. So he's doubled the amount of money than what Tchouameni is at this current point. Not to say that I don't want Declan Rice, because if we get him for the right figure, why not? But it's 100 million, 90 million, even 80 million is a push, man. It's a push. I'm sorry. I like Tchouameni, but I feel we missed the boat now, and the more clubs are capable of getting him, but I prefer him over Rice price-wise. There you go. It's like a mythical character for Chelsea fans. 40 mil Tchouameni, you're dreaming. Well, I've said 50. You got to bear in mind, Dan, this guy last year was 28 million. This guy last year was 28 million. We won't sign anybody. I think Marino is waiting for summer because Rudiger will cost most. Maybe, and this is what I said to you. Even if we don't sign in the January window, we may look to bring Billy Gilmore back. We might look to bring players back. Matson from Coventry. I don't know. We may still look to do that at a later stage. What I'm trying to get is that I think Chelsea would do that more so than maybe go and buy high-profile defenders in Jules Koundé, Dillit, Rice, or maybe even Tchouameni in January. Even though we're in an injury crisis, we have people we can bring back in that could potentially cover and do a job until we get our players back. And then in the summer, you're right. Rudiger goes, Christensen signs or not. Jorginho leaves, Kante may leave, whatever. Then we can start going bang, 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 bang. I just don't see that happening straight away. Over 130 you guys here. Please smash the like, subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. We are still on the midfield. We're going to move away from the midfield and we're going to move on to the wing backs. We're going to move on to the wing backs because it is a bit of an issue at the moment because Ben Chilwell and Reece James have played at such a good, decent level at the moment. They're playing at a level that I think shocked most of us. It's a level it's going to be completely hard or impossible to match. Chelsea, when you look at the depth that we have, which we do have depth, is maybe now in question in terms of quality and levels. I think that the quality that we have as backup maybe isn't as good as maybe we think it is currently in this team now. I'm not talking about anyone that's not in the team, I'm talking about who we have currently. And I think our wing backs is a big issue. I keep banging on about it. Alonso, we'll win games with him. We certainly lose games with him, and we potentially draw games. We and the system suffer because certain individuals, like Alonso, are not at the level that maybe Chilwell is. And I'm not asking him to be on the same level. I'm asking him to be nearish to it. Be able to get forward, be able to get backfoot, be able to have the energy, be able to have recovery speed to get back into position, be able to assist, be able to score. Now, he can do that. I don't knock him offensively because he can score a goal, free kicks, headers, whatever. I get that. But in terms of the overall position, and I always say about it being a hybrid position, an area that is so important to Chelsea Football Club, you have to have the ability to do a bit of everything. And that's why Reece James is so good at it. And Ben Chilwell has become very good at it. Now, there ain't been many talks about certain individuals coming in for Chelsea to buy. I'm talking about in January for that position. But it's definitely a position that maybe Tuchel's looking at and going, yeah, we're suffering here. You know, we're not the same. We do need something else. We need something a bit different. There's a lot of talks about Ian Matson from Coventry. Now, I haven't watched tons of the boy. I'm not going to sit here and say I have. I've watched bits of him. Very good crosser. Very good crosser. Has the pace. He can recover. He can defend. Yes, he may have a little bit of a lack of experience issues, a bit like Chalobah. But could Tuchel elevate something out of this individual? Do we always have to keep looking elsewhere? Do we always have to go and look to buy someone like a Tagliafico, is what I've heard recently? Chelsea should go and look and buy Tagliafico. Why do we have to do that? Why do we need to try and do that? And then we have individuals that are maybe performing all right, Coventry, and the level of the football that they play, maybe not the same. But why not give these guys an opportunity and mix them? You know, Alonso will still play games, but at least having him there as well to come in certain games and see. Not put the pressure on him to bring him in and say, right, you're going to be the new Chilwell, you've got to play. No. But at least have another option. We don't have an option. Saul Niguez cannot play left wing back. And I'll tell you why he can't do that. Because, yes, he has a good left foot. Yes, he might be able to, put a good ball in and assist. Can he arrive in the back post and score? Does he have the energy to go up and down that wing? No. Can he defend and help Rudiger at the other end? I don't think so. Can he then get forward from defence and support the forward line quick enough? No. And this is the part of the issue of Alonso. When he's all the way back in defence trying to tackle with Rudiger and then we win the ball, we have no outlet down there. He just doesn't get up the pitch quick enough. So that's why you see Chelsea switch the ball to the right. We always switch the ball to the right quicker because we use the right a lot more in Reece James. And maybe the pressure on him and teams sussing out that maybe, you know what, they're going to go down the right more is too much. But this guy's got to, again, be an opportunity. Like Billy Gilmore, potentially coming back on a loan in January. Maybe Chelsea should look to bring this boy back and see what Tuchel can do with him. If he is that good. If they think he's that good. The position requires most versatility. We need to strengthen them there for sure. It's why I ask if Koundé can cover left wing back. Oh, sorry, left wing back. Oh, I thought you said left centre back. Left wing back, no. But you say that because he's played for France. He plays right back, and he goes back and forwards, and he can do a job. He's done it quite well. So can he play left wing back? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he's ever played there. I don't think he's ever played this. So I don't really know, Couch, to be honest. Alonso is just not good enough anymore, especially considering the level of football we need to play to win the Premier League. Left wing back is a must in Jan. So if it's a must, viewers, who, what, and who would you bring in? Tell me. I want to know your thoughts. What did Chelsea do with the left wing back scenario? Do we go and buy a Tagliafico? Do we not do that? And do we just go and bring back a loanee in this guy? While you're doing that, please continue to smash the like button. There's over 150 of you guys here right now. I've only got 46 likes. It'd be nice to try and close down to the 100 mark. So please do that. If you are new, subscribe. Follow us on the Discord as well, which is in the description below. You can do that. Yeah, we're going to open up the lines very shortly as well. Nearly there. Where we are, 50 minutes. We're nearly there. It's going to be quite a long stream today anyway, guys. So don't think I'm going to be disappearing soon. Because that's not happening. That is not happening. 2 seconds. I'm just trying to do something, guys. Right, let's move. Let's move. Bring in Ian Mattison, the pace, the skill, the energy and hunger sums it up as to why he is perfect for the left wing back coming in January. What Samir says, big up to him. Alonso doesn't have pace, and we all know for this, me, Alonso is better as a striker than as a wing back because he's better shoot accuracy. Fair enough. The wing backs became vital to the system after the losses to the City and Juve when Tuchel inverted them. Maybe Tuchel should tweak the system again so it's heavily reliant on the wing backs. Yes. Now, maybe the way we get the best out of the current squad that we have is maybe switching the system. Switching the system and not playing how we are. Maybe adapting 4-2-3-1, 4 at the back, and then using the players that we've got to that maybe fit that system better. I don't know. Gozens is what RC's saying. He'd like to see Gozens. Mahile. Hakimi to Chelsea not happening. I'm going to sell Alonso, was what Marina's saying. Okay, cool. I hope that is you. Yeah. If we are going to stay in the system, then literally anyone is what Josh is saying. We'd take Johan Quadrado at Chelsea. For me, one of the most underrated right wing backs in the world football. Is RB Comp saying. There you go. A new one for the thing. Gozens is a good option. Kuselia from Brighton. Never heard of that. Gozens is a good option, but is he injured right now? I don't know. I've seen Gozens for Germany. I think he's quite decent, actually, especially defensively. Defensively, he can do a job. The best way is once we've scored to invert our system. I have arrived. Big up, bro. Big up to Josh. All right, let's go. Let's move from that because even though the left wing back area is very important and we do need to strengthen in that area, I do think it's as important that we strengthen the right wing back element. We do not have good enough backup in the wing back areas if we're going to continue with this system. If we're not going to continue this system and we're going to look for wingers, then obviously we switch it. We need to go and buy some wingers. This is the thing. How long are Chelsea going to continue with this system? Because if it is in the long run and Tuchel's like, no, we stick to this. This is what we're going to do. Then you're going to have to strengthen with better wing backs. 100%. But we move from Maatsen and we're going to move on to the forward line. And there's been a lot of talk about my favourite player ever at Chelsea. This guy. The Don himself. Eden. Oh, I love seeing him in that kit, man. Look at him with Mason Mount behind him. Imagine that. Imagine him skidding on his knees. And he actually looks skinny there as well. Looks like he's in his prime. Looks like he's in his prime as well before he left Chelsea. Should Chelsea bring back Eden Hazard is the question that I'm hearing a lot at the moment. Supposedly, Real Madrid are reportedly willing to sell Eden Hazard for 21 million in January. Now, if that is true, yes. 21 million. Now, look, I was one of the people that said, I don't want him at my football club. I have too many good memories of him, too many good moments with him. I don't want him to come back here. And we know he's not going to perform to a level that we know that we can remember well. And then he gets a bit tarnished with it by the rivals, by our own fan base, everything. But for 21 million, that tells me that he just comes as ammo. And when he's fit, he's fit. If he can contribute to a game, he'll play. Does he give us something different in this, in the forward line? Yes. But I also think he could unlock Lukaku. I also think that us maybe looking to do this for 21 million, providing he's actually fit, which is a blimmin' hard thing to do these days. I actually think he might be the answer. But we would have to switch the system. Chelsea would have to. He wouldn't be able to play in this system. Eden Hazard would not have the legs, the energy, to go up and down and shut down, and he wouldn't be doing that. He would be like, it's no, no. If we brought Eden Hazard back, it would be to accommodate and help Lukaku. And if we're going to help Lukaku, then we'd have to switch system. If we switch the system, I think you could see a 3-4. So you keep the 3 at the back. 3-4-1-2. Tell me about that. And I'll tell you specifically how I'd play it if we did bring him back in the summer. This could be a signing that would be interesting in January, because it could happen. This wouldn't surprise me. Formation, switch. Hazard's in. Say he comes to Chelsea in January. He's fit, no issues. 3-4-1-2. And I'll tell you, Rudiger, Silva, Chalobah or Christensen, James, Jorginho, Kovacic, Ben Chilwell if he's back, or if he's not, Alonso. In this position behind, Mason Mount of the front two as the 1, Ruben, Havertz as the 1 in the middle. You could play 2 up front, Lukaku, Hazard. Imagine it. Let your heads just blow. Let it just blow. Imagine it. 3-4-1-2. What do you think? That's the only way I think you can get the best out of him. He couldn't come back and play in a 3-4-3. It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work for me. Patty Rowan wants to bring Hazard back. It could be good news. His wages are way too high for someone to help to keep Pulisic in company. I think Chelsea would negotiate that. What did someone just say here? Jem, I'm all for a good story, but let it go. Hazard is not. Listen, I'm the one that's been saying I don't want him to come back. But for 21 million, is it a risk in terms of money spent? No. 20 million in this current transfer market is nothing. Anything more than that? Hell no. Hell no. He's not the same player. You're living. I know he's not the same player. I'm not stupid. Who said he was? But he could be the answer to maybe getting the best out of Lukaku. And a semi 3/4 fit Hazard is still very good, still decent. Chelsea won't win the league. No, we already have an injury crisis. I think this money better elsewhere. Fair enough. Hazard has played 3-4-3. But not in the way that we play it. Not in the way that we play it. Courtney's saying, why does Lukaku need help from Hazard? It's not help in many ways. It's combining him with an individual that can maybe get the best out of him. Mount linking up with Hazard is fire, is what Craig Allstead is saying. No, yeah. Look, I don't know the full wage roll, what he'd want and whatever else, but definitely no. You know, exactly what Josh says there. Respect how he is that. He is. And for me, he will always be that at Chelsea. He will always be that. Yeah, I hear that as well. But Hazard and Coutinho are 2 different players for me, especially for their football clubs. Coutinho was good for Liverpool, but Hazard was saying else. We would pay 20 million for him to teach people in training and be back up on the bench. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he comes and plays every game. People need to get this out of his head. It's not Hazard coming and playing every game. But if he needs 21 million and he accepts a low wage, why not? Anything more than no. I don't want him here. I'd rather have them beautiful images of him doing great things when he was great. Don't get me wrong, I love Hazard for what he did before he left, before his big money move at Madrid. He does not look at half the player he was Chelsea Gem. I know that. He was class for us before I left. Yeah, we know. 100%. 100%. Anyway, we move on from Eden Hazard and that little moment. And we move on to a player that Chelsea have been linked with a little bit. Chiesa. Thomas Tuchel loves Chiesa. He thinks he's one of the best wingers As of today, there is nothing. Let's see in the summer. But as of now, Juventus are not negotiating with Chelsea for Federico Chiesa. That was what Fabrizio Romano said on Here We Go pod. This wasn't long ago, by the way. Maybe it was. It was a little bit long ago. Can this happen? Is why I brought this up. If the only way this happens, the only way we get Chiesa is if we get rid of Werner and Barkley and a couple of others. I think we need to get rid of 2 or 3 forwards. And again, you could switch the system and play him up with Lukaku. Yes, the difference with this, his ability in front of goal, great. He can score goals. He's got the pace. He can defend to a degree. You know, no UCL for Juventus. It can definitely happen. Do I think it could work? You know, is Chiesa still on loan at Juve? Then fair enough. We need to negotiate with him because no Champions League football, and then being offered the opportunity to do that at maybe Chelsea and compete in the best league in the world at the moment. Yeah, why not? The question mark on Chiesa would be how much is his wages and how much is he going to cost? Matt Lukaku actually have shown good chemistry. I know it's stupidly unlike, but get Haaland in. Haaland. I'm actually going to, you'll see in a bit. Just sign a DM and left wing back. No need for attackers is what Chelsea boy thinks. He thinks we should rely on it. Josh, it was a permanent last season. Chiesa is the best man for the job. Replace Ziyech and Chiesa with Chiesa. That's what Sportswise is saying. He thinks Chiesa would be good. Now, is he going to happen in January? Hell no. There's no way in hell that's happening. Juventus are in a bit of turmoil. There's going to be a lot of clubs interested in this individual. Will Chelsea be one of them? I think so. Do I think Chelsea can get him? Yes, I do. But at the same time, I think there will be so much competition for him. As good as he is. I think he's more unlikely than most of the ones that we've gone through. He will leave. It's just whether he wants to stay in Italy or if he wants to go Spain or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Money does talk, and if Chelsea do offer him something decent, then it is what it is. Juventus might be relegated to Serie B. They will lose all their players if that happens. Chiesa is very difficult, but Werner offers so much more. I prefer Werner, even though he's not scoring. That's what Samir's saying. Big up to Samir on that one. Jem, remember, Juventus under investigation for Serie A, police, and they might be relegated in Serie A. Exactly. They're going to have to get rid of players. I hear that. But my thing is, it's not just Chelsea that are going to be knocking on that door in the summer. In the summer, we're going to probably get rid of some forwards. Would he be perfect? Yeah. Are Chelsea strong enough financially to get him? Yes. Do we really have other areas that we need to really work on? Yes. Yes. Can I see Chelsea buying a high-profile defender, a high-profile midfielder, and a high-profile forward all in one summer? No. Do I think we'll buy players? Yeah. But I'm talking about high-profile, costly players. And Chiesa, De Ligt, Declan Rice, Tchouameni, Koundé. They're this. It's dollar. It's dollar, guys. It's a lot of money. Chiesa is still on loan. It was a 3-year loan. Fair enough. Get Lewandowski. There's been little talks about him as well, about leaving. His agent was offered. Apparently his agent offered him to Chelsea. Interesting. Juventus struggling will have no effect on Chiesa. It's just that he goes back to Fiorentina, who I'm sure he's not going to want to stay. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Chiesa's definitely one for summer. Do I think it can happen? Yes. Is it like 100% certain Chelsea will get him? No. I think there'll be so many particular football clubs after him. We'll just have to see with him. And we will have to get rid of some forwards. We will have to ditch a lot of players. So we'll have to see with Chiesa. Chiesa's definitely one we'll see for the future. We're nearly at the end. And then I'm going to open up the lines. I'm going to get you guys involved. But we're going to move on to the forward line. Yeah, the forward line. People are thinking, why are we talking about the forward line? We've got Lukaku. Armando Broja. In a Southampton team, played 5 games, 5 goals. What's your thoughts, guys? Broja back in January as backup striker at Chelsea. Or do we leave him and we continue with the Havertz and Lukaku's and whatever else we're going to do? and look to bring him back in the summer. One way or the other, if he continues on the form that he is in this current league, Chelsea should look to bring him back as second striker, third, whatever. He's playing very well at Southampton at the moment. He is. Will he bring us goals, which is something we do still need to look at, even though we are scoring goals all around the pitch? Yes. Oh, declared, man. Fuck, I forgot about Atilia. Atilia is declared for Atilia was a striker, not a defender. Oh, that's funny, man. That was funny. That was funny. But Brozier is definitely someone that Chelsea could look to bring back on January. They could. Yes, we've got loads of forwards, but we haven't got loads of goal scorers. We need more goal scorers. Is he a goal scorer? Hell yes. We have got over 150, nearly 160 of you guys here, guys. Please smash the like button. The lines will be open. I give you guys the opportunity to come in and talk about any of the players that I've gone through. But I need the likes up. Let's try and get to the 100 likes. If you are new, subscribe to the channel as well. Please subscribe. He's not ready yet, is what Sammy is saying. I hear that. Please don't take our boy Chiesa, who's like here saying, mate, your club's in a bit of crap. Why not Haaland? We'll get to it. Don't worry. Before I open up the lines, I will get to that. But Brozier is definitely an option. Brozier is definitely someone that could come back and do a job, you know. Brozier's doing well on loan. Leave him be. Let him continue his development. Bring him in the fold next year. Yeah. So my question to you guys was, does he come in Jan or does he come in the summer? I'm happy. I'm happy that he's doing what he's doing. I'm happy to let him stay for this, stay over there for the whole of this season and come back in the summer. Good to evaluate and see. And then it just depends on who Chelsea bring in, right? Because Chelsea might go and buy and whatever else, and he might just be one for the future like Conor Gallagher and just come in a bit later. You know, Roman might sign Haaland. Don't care if Lukaku doesn't step out. If Roman goes all in, Haaland in the summer. Lots of Haaland talk in the chat. It's like you have read my mind. Haaland to City, January, Sky Sports News is what Gip Gop's saying. I don't see that happening. Still early. He needs more seasons on loan. All right, cool. Brozier, one for the future. I hear that. Which brings me to this guy. And he's definitely not coming into January. There have been rumours, again, that Chelsea are looking to try and complete a deal for Haaland. Now, if you know me well enough, I have been saying that Erling Haaland has always been my number one striker. Even before we were linked with Lukaku, all this stuff, I've always carried the energy that Erling Haaland was the striker that I wanted at my football club. And it was a shame we didn't get him in the summer. I actually kind of get why we didn't get him in the summer. Agent fees, player wages. But his dad needed payment. Dortmund wanted whatever they wanted. Maybe a bit too much. Who knows? Maybe Chelsea already agreed something with them for next summer and just said leave it there. Spoke to the agent player and he's involved. The thing is, people go, why? We've got Lukaku. Why? Why not have the best of everything, man? We're Chelsea. Why not? Why not have two great strikers, two options, two strikers that can offer you different systems? Look. Will Chelsea go for him in the summer? From what we're hearing in terms of Roman and how much Roman wants him, potentially. Would I love to have him at my football club? Yes, because he's always been my first choice. I've always wanted Haaland. So I will still carry the energy because I want him. Not to say that I don't think Lukaku's dead and he's not doing a job. But can you imagine Lukaku and Haaland combining? We'd have to play 3-5-2. We'd have to play a 3-4-1-2 or a 3-5-2. It just depends on what we would want. You know, it's still up in the air, and he will be leaving next summer. And Man City will want him because they didn't get a striker. Could still probably get him because they haven't got a striker, and he will get the game time there. Not say that he won't at Chelsea, but he did say last summer that he wants to go to a team that is winning trophies. Man City win trophies, Chelsea win trophies. He won't go Man United. He might for Ralph, but not while Ronaldo's there. He won't go Man United. I don't see him going Madrid because of Mbappe. I don't see him going PSG because they've got the front three. All right, maybe the front two. I still don't see him going France to play football. That's not an upgrade from Germany. He ain't going to go Italy. I'm telling you, there is only 2 places that this guy can go to. Chelsea and Man City. And you can push Man City. And I wouldn't, if he went Man City, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't surprise me, is what I'm saying. But don't think this is done. I don't think this is done. I'm telling you now. Fraser says Roma 40 million, Alf 20, agent fees, transfer fees 70, 75 million. According to Gian Arg, his wage will be around 500 to 750k net after tax. Fee will be total around 300 to 400 million. It's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money. City first in the queue for Haaland, Sky Sports News. Fair enough. I don't even diss that. We will play a 3-5-2. 2 holding an other one. I don't know. I'm not sitting here slagging Lukaku off because I don't want people in the chat thinking, oh, here we go, you're slagging. No, I will back Lukaku. He's a Chelsea player. I hope he does do what he needs to do and show us. But do not get it twisted. Roman Abramovich, if it's not working and he thinks we need to improve still, we'll go and buy it. This is Roman Abramovich. This is Chelsea Football Club, man. And we might sell Werner, Ziyech, Barkley, whoever the fuck else you want to put in there. I could see us doing that, overhauling that and getting rid of them just to accommodate him. And with Lukaku. Yes, it would be a stupid wage bill. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't say no. That's what I'm going to say. Here we go again. People talk about money for Haaland, but they can never compare stats or talk about the way he plays, especially for his age. I can see Haaland go to PSG or Madrid because they are the only clubs who will give him. I don't think they're the only clubs that will give it to him. Yes, PSG will, but they've got so much in terms of wage bill at the moment. They've got so much going out. I don't see PSG doing that. Madrid are not going to afford his wages at the moment. Man City can, but are they going to? And Chelsea can, but are they going to? We have to see. It was just a little food for thought on that one, there's also talks about Tino Andrin coming back. I know DJ said it to me in the chat. Big up to him. Yeah, Tino Andrin is another option. I mean, I'm going to open up the lines anyway. Still over 150 of you guys here. Come in and have your say on whatever. Defence, midfield, forward line, Haaland, not Haaland. Whatever you want to talk about. Transfer related. Who do Chelsea buy in January? Do they not? Do they just look to loan players? Will they, or not? Will they bring in a high profile player in January? Who do you think they'll bring in the summer? This is just an overall chat today. It's about everything. The link is in the chat, guys. There you go. How many likes have we got at the moment? I need to have a look. Let's have a look. We have got. How many likes have we got? Come on, man. We've got to have some decent likes. Come on. 66, guys. Come on. Let's close that gap to 100. Let's close it. We have got Grey Wolf Stinner here. How are we doing, Grey Wolf Stinner? We've got Declared.
Yeah.
We've got VJ. And we've got Nick Blue all in the chat. How are we doing, guys?
Great, good.
Yeah, big club.
Can't be that great. We lost. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
It's alright. No, the Chelsea women's team won, so whatever. I'll just
look
jump on them.
Look, great. I like Chelsea. But, it's the women's team, and no one really watches it. But we're just sticking by it, I guess.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I know you're trying to look at the positives, but still doesn't help me.
Yeah, no.
Right,
I'm here to defend my boy Lukaku as well.
Go on, then you go first then. What is it you want to say? Go on. Transfer news. Let's go.
So look, come on, man. It's Lukaku. He scored over 100 Prem goals. This guy was Serie A Player of the Year, and now we're saying he's a flop.
No one said that.
No, but I can see it already. Like if he goes to 2 more games or something, I can see it.
You got a time
The
machine, bro?
Lukaku's
You got a time machine?
time machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
a
back
little
to that
bit.
Lukaku that you're talking about, man.
Declare
Hey,
Lily
this,
There's-
hey, this is a
Alright,
bad POV.
okay. Here's what I want.
Hey,
Okay,
Graham's
let
got
me.
a point of view, a
Let
POV
him finish it,
cam
Kev.
here.
Yeah,
I want to talk about I want to talk about the Havertz thing. Right?
Go on.
Havertz doesn't bring as much as some people are making out. I think Lukaku could do everything that Havertz does but score more goals. I
No.
think personally.
nowhere.
I
The only
disagree.
thing the only thing
Disagree.
Havertz does is he does drop a little deeper and passable. But I was looking at key part.
Jesus.
Lukaku has played more key passes than Havertz in the striker position.
Lukaku,
Mate,
Really?
I respect your opinion, but I think you are gassed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what games you're watching.
I just think I don't think Havertz is like he's not really been a reason why we've been dominating these games. In my
Yeah, but you do realise
Just-
Havertz has been playing a striker. He's not a striker. He's been filling in. Like when you see him play his proper position just behind, he's different gravy. Like he has got so much potential. It is
I'm not saying
disgusting.
Havertz is poor. I'm just saying in the striker position.
Yeah, but Matty, you know what Havertz
But he's not a
showed
striker.
from last year and now? He showed that the system runs better with a more versatile
Fluid.
striker. Yeah, more
Yeah,
fluid. So like, I'll run an exercise by you guys, right? If you're the opponent's manager, right, and you have to work out your defense or your defensive coach for the other team, yeah, and pick a front three for me with Lukaku. Sorry, 2 other people in Lukaku. Say it's Lukaku. Someone throw 2 names.
We'll just do Ziyech and Mount.
Ziyech and Mount, right? Now, how would you approach, very simply, we're not coaches here, but how would you look at that? Like, what do you feel that we have to do for Lukaku? And what do you think the opponents will look at that? Just anyone spitball. Wolf, how do you think? How would you like Lukaku to play?
I want Lukaku to play with Mount, and I would.
You know, how should the team work for Lukaku? How you see it?
How I see it.
Yeah.
Well, they need to get the ball into him a bit more. But to be honest, West Ham he was poor. I'm not even saying Lukaku was good.
No, it's not that.
He was rubbish.
Your first answer is what I was looking for. So the defense is going to, so the opponent team is going to say, well, they're going to look for Lukaku. So we just need to shut the ball down to Lukaku, right? Simple. And that's all they do.
Yeah, but that's what the space.
And if they're solid defense, yeah, all right. Now, if I ask you the same question, how would you stop Havertz, Mount, and Ziyech? How would you approach that?
Well, you don't need to mark Havertz.
The quick answer is quite simple. One's man mark, the other one's zonal. When you've got 3 people that can interchange, you can't man mark a player, which makes us more dangerous because we're more fluid. When Lukaku's on the pitch, they just man mark him and make sure that you can't get the ball to feet to him, or if you do, there's cover behind. And we've found that since he's been playing, we struggle to open up teams in that way.
Well, if
Well,
you and if you
Havertz against Watford.
Against Watford,
Havertz was awful.
Yeah,
Well, if you watch-
other teams like Inter Milan and that, Lukaku has played out wide, right, on the counter break, right, but in our system, it goes to show that he's given a static role because he's not that well when he goes out of position. So if Lukaku finds himself a bit wider, he's not going to create. He's not going to link up.
and if
I
you
will
watch-
argue against my own point though. I just made the point that I think it is different, but I will argue against your point, Claire. What I will say is, I think you're right. I think we are playing better with a fluid front three, but I don't think that's necessarily Lukaku not doing his job. I think that's players not playing to Lukaku's strengths. Like the last game we just played. The last game we just played.
Teams that we won. So we beat a Norwich team that was garbage. Like even if Lukaku was playing, we probably would have batted 7-0. Then the other team was.
Really oh, sorry. Okay, fine. I thought you finished. Go.
It was Newcastle as well, which again I don't think if we play Havertz or Lukaku, I don't think I would have changed the result either. There's Newcastle.
Well, yeah, I want to hear what Josh. Josh, what is it you wanted to talk about, mate? As well, I know we were talking about Havertz.
No, it was just like in terms of like Romelu when he came on in the second half of West Ham. If you just watch, he's like, and I like Romelu, but like he's sort of just stagnant in the middle, and there's 4 defenders just standing on top of him. Like, I mean, there's nothing, no service, nothing you do is gonna keep him or make him get open at that point. There's literally 4 defenders standing on him. So like that, it's not really a lack of service thing. But even if you played a ball into him, it's just going to get cleared out because he has no space. I think the problem is like trying to create space for him so that he can get in behind or he can have the ability to shoot the ball. Like if he's just standing there stagnant in the middle, it doesn't matter who your striker is. And I've kind of said that about this. I've kind of said that about this team in general. I don't think any real recognized number 9 would do anything in this team because we don't have the midfield to create for a number 9. So if our sole opportunities to score is literally just having the wingbacks cut inside and spam a ball, it doesn't matter who our number 9 is because there's never going to be space for him, and we don't have midfielders to create.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I just want to quickly say something on that. You're right. And do you know what Daniel's saying here? You know how you get defenders off him, make runs behind, and he is right there. I mean, Lukaku, for me, he's very static. He won't always make runs, you know. And I would like to see him do it a little bit more. But I agree with what he's saying there. And the only players that can help do that, and I'm going to be honest with you right now, is Kai Havertz, and I want to see Kai Havertz play behind Lukaku still. I don't care. I need to see it still.
Well, Mount, that sounds pretty good.
Mason Mount won't always make them runs behind as much. I think the movement's
no, Mount. You need a passer though. You need a passer.
Can I touch on that though?
Havertz and even Werner. I know we go on about him, but he makes them runs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Werner and Lukaku were fantastic.
You know what I mean?
When he's static and you want people to make runs in in an area where it's just congested, right? Because when it's interchangeable, you know, when someone's making a run, someone's moving out and either pulling the defenders or whatnot. But if everyone's trying to make runs in this really tight spot where they're already defending Lukaku and everyone, right? It makes it, you just see a cluster. And especially a team that is parking the bus, right? That's what happens to us. So that's why, look, I'll give Lukaku a pass. They said he wasn't ready. I'll give him a pass. But this is an ongoing conversation from when we started to change. Because, Jim, you brought up change the system, right? We did try to change the system. We tried what he did at Inter Milan with 3-5-2, right? We didn't even tinker with it. But I think this unique system that Tuchel originally brought in is way more important than Lukaku, because if we start to change everything just for Lukaku, and then he has to be on top of his game to get the best out of him, because I mean everyone says we paid 100 mil, but we also paid 70 plus for Kepa and Havertz, and we're not building a team around them too. So money's not everything, and I don't think Lukaku was even the first choice. So I think Lukaku should adapt rather than change the whole team around him, because if it's not Lukaku, like, just take out names, all right? I just want a interchangeable front three, and I think that works the best for the system. Whoever, regardless.
I think Lukaku's getting a lot of stick here for something that's not necessarily all him. Like, I'll be honest.
Matty, I won't even use Lukaku. I'll use big striker, static striker. I won't even use Lukaku, because anyone with Lukaku's characteristics will have the same problem.
But the thing is in that last game that we just played, like I'll challenge anybody to go back and watch it. Like, people are saying that he wasn't making runs or things like this. Where was he supposed to run? Because they were sitting deep. They had 2 men on him at all times. If you go back and look, he did make a couple of runs, but physically people couldn't find him because of how compact it was. Hold on though. Then let me finish the point. Then my point being is, when he is sitting in the static in the middle and he has got them 2 defenders on him, right, that's when you need to be playing the balls to feet and doing the 1-2 with the runs coming off. And we didn't do that at all. We passed it wide. We tried to get it into the box when there was like compact people. We didn't play well enough through the middle.
The ball on those 1-2s.
Well, if you go back and look at it, it wasn't necessarily he. I'm not saying he didn't lose any balls, but he played 2 back to Mason, where Mason had a bad touch where he could have gone through. He played 1 back to Pulisic, where Pulisic had a bad touch and he could have gone through. It's not
Let's
just
make it simple,
him.
Matty. He lost the ball more than he actually linked up. That's, I think,
But he
didn't have a great game, but he wasn't fit. But what I'm saying is, this isn't just one game problem.
Daniel is right. Like the runs do create space for him, but the problem is the deeper we get into the opposing box, the harder it is to make runs and the more stagnant he becomes. So like that's why I'm saying not having creative midfielders is our issue, because you need to be able to start those runs from further up the pitch and not so deep. The deeper we get, the more impossible it becomes to running behind, because there's no space at all. So like that's one of the issues I think Werner has, is when Werner's higher up the pitch and he's making runs, there's nobody to pick him out. So like when you ask a guy like Fabregas, like, and he's talking about, oh man, Werner would be sweet to play with because he makes these great runs. Well, like those runs are coming from higher up the pitch. There's space to get in behind. The deeper you get, the less space you have in behind, and those runs become mute because the whole defense is in the box. It's just we got to figure out ways to create from the midfield higher up the pitch to get these strikers in space. And we're not doing that right now because both of our midfielders, whether it's George, Kova, Conte, George, even Loftus to a certain extent, like they're not progressing the ball forward up the pitch.
Agree. Massively.
You know, Josh, to your point,
100% agree with
the
that.
fundamentals of our system with.
Yeah,
I thought Loftus Cheek had a good game against West Ham.
No, he is. He did have a really. I thought he was the best midfielder on the field, to be honest with you. But he's driving the ball, and I'm talking about making passes from the midfield.
Yeah, his passing needs to improve.
I want to go to VJ because these guys haven't said anything yet. So
okay,
I'll shut up.
Guys, what you saying?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Hello,
VJ. VJ. You don't want to talk, VJ. You have to come back in, mate. All right.
Me and Claire scared him off.
Nick Blue, what are you saying? Go on, mate.
Rudiger is going on January. Yeah, it's a good point, Nick Blue.
Why?
Hello.
Yeah. Nick, go on. Why no one talking, man? What's going
on? All right, I want to finish. It's on tip of my tongue.
Football
Josh.
style. Go on, football style.
Hello.
All right, finally.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What are you saying?
Yeah, big up the panel. And I want to tell you that Romelu Lukaku, I respect him. But one thing I always see him when he plays like two defenders over him, he can't control the ball like to be clearly or like touch. Sometimes he can't touch the ball perfectly. Like there's some issues that Romelu Lukaku should like be improved on by the Inter, but I see him all the time in the defending thing, but I really like what he's doing, like to protect and give the pass to the ball from the middle. But sometimes I see, like in the right wing, they do pass like corners, but they cannot like do in the middle pass to him and like go and shoot the goal. So I see that sometimes there's issue there, like from the forward line.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Go on, Declared. What are you saying about that?
I want to add on to Josh's point. It's the fundamentals of our team and system right now, which is why we peg the whole idea is to peg, like we keep so much possession that we squeeze teams into their own half, right? And what he explained is always going to happen. Whether we've done it to good teams, we've done it to worse teams in the ladder. It's the fundamentals of what we're playing. If you want to change up this, it's not even just change up the system. You're talking about changing up the fundamentals. You know, they're playing out from the back, the possession. I mean, you're going to change up everything, and you're talking about that mid-season. You can't just do that. Even if we change it up, it's not going to fix everything. I mean, it might fix it for Lukaku, but it won't fix it for everyone else. So I think the system and the fundamentals and the strengths we have as a team, that would.
Yeah. Do you think we need? I'm going to go quickly back to transfers on it as well, because now we're talking a lot about Lukaku. But in January, do you think we should look to maybe bring back maybe like a Brozier, someone that can actually score? Because we don't.
Oh, please say no.
Scoring goals at the moment.
No, I think I wrote it in the chat. It's too early for Brozier. I mean, strikers and defenders, the young strikers and defenders, have so much responsibilities. I think their loan periods and their development should be longer before we come back, because he might come and if he doesn't score for a bit, that's it for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to kind of impress. So I would like to see him. I like to see defenders and strikers, because their mistakes, hold so much weight. So they should go out for loans longer and develop longer before before we bring them back.
I
agree with that 100%.
Okay. Go on.
I was just about to say, just touching on that. I understand saying, bring back Brozier because he's finishing. I mean, have you seen his goals this season? I don't see how he scores for us. I think he does exactly what Lukaku does. I don't see a difference. I think he'll be pinned in. He won't get
agree with that.
opportunities.
Yeah,
I think if anything, bringing him back would be worse for his development than better.
Yeah.
Because I think
Also,
you're putting him in too soon.
Maybe the only positive bringing him back is he's young, and young players are still like what I call them, like sponges. You know, they're just ready to absorb a whole bunch of new information. Where it's really hard to change him. He's 28 years old. You're not going to change anyone at that age that well. He's just meant to adapt, or he's just stuck in his way. Bro's just still fresh, and he can probably take in the Tuchel system and understand. You know, and he's got a lot of energy. Maybe we could just get him to. He's going to press more. There's little positives in it, but in order to be clinical and stuff, that's where I have massive doubts.
All right, fair enough. Ram, what are you saying, man?
I just gotta make it in here.
You're just coming into trolling. What's going on?
Four Rams are only allowed when we're winning.
Look, I'm not. I came when you lot were winning. I came when you lot were drawing. I came when you lot were losing. It's still gonna be the same thing. I'm still gonna come on. I'm still here. I saw
Ram
red.
just starts riding on you,
I saw
Been a
redneck.
while, Rams.
I saw redneck in the comments chatting his nonsense as always. I will be here. I will be here. Jem is my mate. Even though we like to argue a lot, he's my mate, and I'll back him up. So that's that. That's my first thing I want to say. Second thing is, I've been listening to this whole Lukaku debate, yeah, and I'll still use the same rhetoric that other Chelsea fans have told me, the likes of Monster, Jem and Daniel said themselves on the terrace, and other rhetorics that I sort of use as well. If you are a world-class striker, which a lot of people have said he is, I expect you to do more than just score goals.
I agree with that. Yeah.
A lot
But
better.
He can
was
do, though.
injured. He was
I've
injured.
seen him for Belgium and
Let him
Inter. I know
finish.
this guy.
Let him finish. Let him
Sorry,
finish.
sorry.
Hang on.
Sorry, I thought.
And one of
Rams,
you
you're
guys
gonna have to
said,
repeat your point. I think you lagged out. That's why.
Yeah, you got your microphone. You sit on your microphone. Saying, bring it closer. That's it.
when you guys talk about where can he move in terms of movement, where can he move because the compactness of the defense is so compact. I have to ask you these questions. Why is it that the likes of Harry Kane last season, Robert Lewandowski, and to an extent Luis Suarez and the likes of Lautaro Martinez can get into those spaces which Lukaku can't? Because the likes of, I know people say Lewandowski plays in the Bundesliga. They play a
That's
high
a
line all
fact.
the time.
That's a fact.
That's your answer. Yeah, that's your answer right there.
But in the Champions League, where he does come up against low block teams, he still finds a way of getting into space.
What low block teams are in the Champions League that he comes up against? That are actually
he played against Benfica, played against Dinamo Kiev.
that are actually good teams that can actually defend low blocks.
Okay, fine. He played against Atleti. He played against Real Madrid, and he still scored
And
goals.
he played against
Real Madrid.
Atleti. When did he score
And
against?
Jose Mourinho scored 4. Remember the time at Borussia Dortmund? He's played against teams that play low blocks, and he's come out successful. So I don't understand why.
Jose Mourinho did not play a low block at Real Madrid. What are you
Yes,
talking
he
about?
did.
He put
Against
100
Dortmund,
goals that
he
year.
did. Against Dortmund, he did. He did.
Okay.
Don't
Hey,
give
we
me
can
this.
go back and forth about that, but yeah, the Bundesliga is completely different to that of
That's
the
why I
Premier League.
mentioned That's why I mentioned the Champions League.
And on top of that, I would say that Lewandowski is definitely a class above Lukaku. It doesn't mean that Lukaku is not a great striker, though, just because he's not.
He's
Lewandowski.
great, but is he world class? Is the
If he's
difference.
world
That's what I'm
class,
trying to
I
understand.
expect
That's what he's
him to
asking.
do more than
Yeah.
just being static in the box.
I think sometimes
Why is it the likes of Luis Suarez and Lautaro Martinez can do that, but he can't? A 30
Different
I
characteristics, bro. He's half the size and half the weight.
Have you checked Lukaku's conversion rate? Have you checked his conversion rate?
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about getting into space.
Well, that's a striker. That's what you buy a striker to do.
Have you not seen?
You buy a striker
Crouch.
to finish opportunities. That's what a
I've
striker
got a
does.
massive deja vu.
Okay,
I was talking like Rams when Liverpool fans were all complaining about Benteke. But I used to come up, I used to say, well, he's done it over here, and he's done this, and he's got a conversion rate, and he moves like this. And I used to say the same thing. So we should just take Rams as a point of a grain of salt and just think the opposite, because I would do the same if a striker wasn't performing. I don't know the point you're making, Rams, right? And you're stretching.
I think Ram makes a point. I actually think Ram makes a valid point to a degree, and you're probably going to say why, Jim.
I agree with you.
Why,
sort
Jim?
of.
I think
Why,
he's
Jim?
right in terms of questioning him if he's world class, because I don't think he's
not that the Champions League
an
goals that he was
overall,
chasing.
an overall world-class striker. I don't think he is. I think to be an overall world-class striker, you don't just score goals. You have the movement. You're everything. You look at Lewandowski, Aguero, all these players, Suarez. Not only do they score goals, but their ability to be able to influence games by playing up front on their own.
Ibrahimovic for AC Milan, right?
James,
Yeah,
have you called Lukaku world class?
as well.
People
I don't know.
said-
I think Lukaku's a great world-class goal scorer. That's what I think.
Have you called Lukaku
Jem,
world
I
class?
think so.
For me, that makes you world class.
The
because-
rest
I
that
think so
I've been
too.
hearing at the start of the
Because
season,
you know,
we are signed the top
let's
five
look,
striker
can we look
in
at
the
it like
world.
this? Somebody has said this the other day, and I want to see what you guys think of this. If Mendy is a world class keeper, right? But he's not very good with the ball at his feet, and he's not necessarily good with his distribution. Is he still a world class keeper?
Yeah, but for me, he is because
I
he's
don't
improved on that.
Okay, but is he though? He is though. But even though he has those shortcomings,
Yeah,
in
but
terms
he's
of his
improved on that though.
distribution,
He might make
he's
a
still
or a
not.
millionaire, but
That's still not a
pretty
strength
decent.
in his game though. His distribution and his penalty kick saving, right? Those aren't
Yeah.
strength in his game. So he's still a world class keeper. Whereas because we grade him on what he does in goal, like he keeps the goals out. Lukaku is a world class striker because what he does, what you want him to do, score goals, strike the ball clean, finish, conversion rate.
Exactly.
There's
Yeah.
very
I've got
few
a
that
question.
matches.
Can I-
There's very few that
Can I
match
ask
him in those.
Well, you can't be
There's
top
very
five.
few that match him in the world football right now. Very few.
That's
In front of goal, yes.
Couch,
That's-
Hold on here.
Couch,
We've had this debate
that's-
before about
hang on,
world
hang on.
class.
Declare that's
Right, world class.
great. You saying he's got a great conversion rate and he's good at striking the ball, but that's nothing if you can get into space and get yourself an opportunity, make yourself opportunity to give.
I mean, you can't score goals on
He
your own,
can.
man.
Have
It's
you know
like-
what
it's
Belgium
need
was?
to
like
To
create
Milan.
opportunities for you.
One
did.
thing you talked about Mendy about his distribution. Yeah, is not that great. His positioning and his reflexes and his agility is incredible. Like his agility and reflexes are incredible. Like for a big guy, he can stretch, and his positioning is very, very good. That's what makes him a world class keeper. You can hide the fact of he can hide the deficiencies that he has as a goalkeeper, but he hides it by showing his other greater attributes. But when you have movement, is one of the most important things that you should have as a striker. And if you don't have that, all this thing about he has a good conversion rate, he strikes the ball well, that means nothing. It means nothing.
You know you're asking a question though.
Hold on. I've been trying to
No,
get
no,
this
no,
to keep going world class.
How does that
How long
mean
do you have to
nothing?
keep playing? Right, how long do you have to keep playing, right, to be world class? How long do you have to do it for? Because I don't.
Boys,
count
you're
Mendy
asking a
as
question that
world-class.
can't be answered. It's
No,
pointless.
hold on. Yeah.
Everybody
Me-
has a different opinions of what world class is.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
can argue this
Right.
point.
So
You aren't going to get an answer.
Let's find the middle ground because Mendy's only done it for one season, and Lukaku
Mendy
has
ain't world
different
class.
patches. Mendy's in world class form, right?
Yes, but he's not world class right now.
I'm not going to give players that have great one seasons in other teams as well, right, and call them world class, right? They're on
Understand.
world class form. That's why you can see some deficiencies. But in maybe the near future, all these weaknesses that you guys were pointing out for Mendy can be improved, and all of a sudden he becomes that world class player, right? It's same with Lukaku. I found it baffling that everyone said, well, Lukaku improved his touch at Inter Milan. He now knows how to touch the ball, and which is kind of crazy to link world class. And now just at 28, improving his first touch. So Lukaku hasn't been world class over the years. He's had bad spells up and down. It would be hard to call him world class, but he had a great 2 seasons in Inter Milan, and people call him one of the best in the world. Right?
He is
I
one
think
of the
there's
best
a-
in
that
the
was still
world.
I think
questionable.
there's a difference. I think there's a little difference between world
He is
class
one of
and,
the best
and
in
one
the
of the
world.
best in the
That's
world. I
unquestionable.
think those are two different distinctions. So,
Well,
like,
top
Can I ask
three,
you boys a
everyone-
question?
Which is
Can I ask you boys a question? Before Lukaku got injured, because he got injured in the was it the Mola game, Champions League?
Malmo, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion, you probably will differ, and I'm probably going to say, it's Malmo. But before he got injured in that game, he looked the best that he's looked for us all season, in my opinion. I thought he looked brilliant, and then he got injured.
Yeah, he was
You've
very
got
good.
you've got to give him the chance to come back to the Premier League and adapt to the style, because it is different. Yes, he's world class. Yes, you paid 100 million for him. Yes, he should deliver. But he's still going to need to get up to speed with the Premier League again.
Matty,
He's just been injured. I think if you're telling me right now when we signed him am I happy with his overall performance? The answer would be no. But am I
Same.
going to write him off with everything that's happened this season to him? No. I still think he has the potential to reach that heights. I think we just need to be fair and give him a little bit more time. But
You're bang on, Maddie.
Was it
You're bang
the
on.
Southampton
You're
game
bang on.
before that? He was very good in that game as well, though he did miss an absolute sitter, but he was very good in that game as well.
Right. Well, I think too. Again, I think we get in the weeds a little bit, but with world class and one of the best in the world, he's definitely one of the best strikers in the world. That's for sure. I think world class, and I agree. I think Redneck or Alex has said this before. I think world class is a distinction better left for after a player's career. But I think Mendy one of the best in the world, and Lukaku definitely one. They're definitely two of the best in the world at their position. I don't think there's any question about that.
No doubt about it. Like, I don't understand. Like, you hit it right on the head too, Maddie. Because first of all, there isn't an adaptation that comes to playing on a new side in a new way. And then nobody ever takes into consideration who he was playing with. We've all seen, no matter who we play up top, if we have Alonso and Azpilicueta servicing from out wide, the squad does not eat. Nobody eats.
Never.
When you have Chilwell and you have Reece James, it's a completely different side. And then on top of that, we're talking about like, the movement, this, that, and the other. For all the movement that you get from Havertz and Werner and all those, they're not scoring goals.
That's my point. That's the point I made.
They're not a Lukaku. They don't have a clinical strike on them. So it's finding that balance. If they had like 10% of what Lukaku has as a finisher, they'll be getting goals. There won't be any discussion. Havertz will be starting. No doubt.
For me, judging Lukaku is the same as judging Jack Grealish.
It's like you lot need a hybrid of Havertz and Lukaku. You know what I mean?
I think Lukaku has movement. He's shown it earlier in the season. It's just at the moment he doesn't.
And to my point about the midfield, like at Inter, he had Barella, and we don't have a Barella. Barella is a creative midfielder who can pass the ball forward. We don't have that at Chelsea, so that also is a bit of a factor.
But boys, just to sort of probably get us back on topic, because I think we've gone off topic a bit. With these rumoured transfers, who would you actually bring in to improve this? Like who would be your top ones?
I think we need somebody that can play left and right back as a backup. We need a high-level left wing back for sure, because the way we're using our wing backs right now, I know Jem's banged on about this, and I basically just rode his coattails. I agree with this 100%. The way we use our wing backs right now, it requires that position to be the most versatile on the pitch, and it requires that you have to be going forward, effective, and backwards. And that's a specialty position that not many people can perform right now. And as much as I love Azpilicueta, he doesn't give you the same quality as Reece James, and you almost need like for like in that position because of how we rely on those wing backs right now. So I would say you have to find a like for like substitution for Chilwell, and you have to find like for like for Reece James, because they can't play 60, 70 games.
Throwing this out there, I'd love to see Max Aarons come in. Just saying it.
But then where would Reece James go?
But he's not going to start, is he? Max Aarons doesn't need to take his place. It's to be
I'll have a word with him about it.
A quality backup.
Yeah.
If you can get him for cheap, I'd go for Adam Traore personally, but if you can get him cheap, I don't know if they'll sell him.
Maybe what was that you're talking about?
But like to cover Reece James.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, I've never seen him play there.
He does. He has played there. For Wolves, he's played there.
He worked at that conversation anyway.
Gem mute.
Yeah. Oh.
Gem's on the phone to Babe Station.
I don't know if you guys have been clocking this Joachim Mala guy from. He played with the Danish national team. I think he's right-footed, but he played a left wing back for them.
Well, Myla.
Yeah,
Atalanta.
Atalanta, exactly. Atalanta.
Decent player.
I think he'd be a nice cover.
I was on the phone, wasn't I?
We heard, man.
I hate that. I was talking to some insurance companies, man.
Oh, don't worry. We know. We heard it all, man.
Was it Babe Station?
Yeah, Babe Station, wasn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, man. What are we still talking about Lukaku and Havertz? So can we move?
Nah. I moved it on. Win backs.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, what are you saying about that then?
I think Declared was it you, Declared, talking about the Atlanta
No, that was crap.
No, I was talking about him.
crowd?
Mahler.
Sorry.
A couch, yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking
Joachim
about
Mahler.
Gosens.
No, I was talking about Mahler because I think that he's right-footed but can play on the left, and you can probably make an assumption that he can also play on the right as well, being right-footed. And for me, what you need is you don't necessarily need replacements for Chilwell and Reece James. You just need somebody that can give them like-for-like substitutions. And also, what I think is valuable there is the fact that if he can play on the right, which I do think he can cover both positions. So you don't necessarily need to get somebody that can play right wing back and left wing back. It's just one player that can basically cover both of those positions. Probably the reason why we wanted Hakimi to begin with in the first place, because he can play both sides. And, was somebody that you wouldn't see a lot of drop off if you bring him in. But for me, I think Joachim Mahler could be a player that we can look at. I mean, I understand the Tagliafico thing, but that just seems like a stopgap. That just seems like another, Zappacosta kind of signing.
I've got a bit of transfer news just come in. Thank you to DJ Savjay that just tweeted me quickly. Remember that talk about Cesali and him coming to Chelsea? Do you remember that guy that Declared thought was a striker, but he's a defender, that guy? The Hungary boss, Marco Rossi, on Chelsea target Attila Cesali. It's hard to name just one player, but right now I see very well Attila Cesali, who plays for Fenerbahce, but I think he's joining Chelsea.
Ooh.
He's the centre back, isn't he?
That's the centre back, yeah.
This is what I was going to go on to next. I think a centre back is what we need more than a wing back at the moment. Because I'll be honest, I don't see Rudiger signing a new contract.
He's also continued saying, Hungary boss Rossi on this is clearly he has been followed by important clubs in Spain, but apparently he's moved to Chelsea is a done deal.
What?
It would be a great player also for the Italian football. Look, there you go, people. Breaking news. Apparently, Attila Cesali, from the Hungary boss, that the guy that manages Hungary, has confirmed that Attila Cesali is apparently already a Chelsea player.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think Chelsea are more than okay with Rudiger and Christensen both leaving.
I don't think
I think they would like them to stay, but they're not going to overpay for either one of them. So if it's a matter of getting Koundé and this guy or Koundé and De Ligt,
can I have a word now?
We need Koundé.
Yeah,
if you get Koundé.
Hey, someone. Who said Rudiger? You guys said Rudiger too many times.
I have a word now.
Let Nick have a go. Let Nick have a go.
Let's let Nick Blue go. Go on,
Yeah. Look, first of all, about Lukaku, we are all disrespecting him too much.
Facts.
All this hate is ridiculous from our fan base. He's had a big injury. He's been out longer. He's had a worse injury than Werner. And we're expected to come in, when he shouldn't have been playing half a game, and then score the goals and beat West Ham. That was down to the team. We had in the first half. We were winning 2-1 and they couldn't hold on. I don't know. All this shit about Lukaku is bad. He's a great player. He'll be good for us.
Agree.
I just think it's like most of our players. I think
but a lot of fans.
I think everyone always moans or slates players.
I think we're half and half the fan base at the moment. Normal. Before, when he was coming in, everyone wanted him. Suddenly, he's been injured and he hasn't played a lot of games. No, he's no good. Everyone marks him out.
I don't even know who said that. Who said?
A lot of people be saying that. I've been hearing it all the time, Jim. And it's up to our team and Tuchel to get Lukaku going when he is fit enough. They have to change the system a bit. We can't rely on.
What about this striker that Jim's talking about?
I'm talking now. Declare, shut up. Yeah, you talk too much, my friend, and you talk a lot of shit as well.
Hey, when you talk,
relax.
Nick flew with the shots.
Yeah, because I don't like all these hate, man. It's no good for our club.
Declared was having
so you bring your own hate, man.
Anyway, I was gonna.
I agree. He needs to play.
We need to give him a chance to, when he's really fit, to show us what he's gonna do. Plus, the team has to, find a way to give him a cross against West Ham. Who crossed the ball to him? Not one cross coming.
Yeah, it was
Not
poor
one.
He does
delivery.
need to move though, doesn't he? Let's be serious. But
No,
I ain't even getting
To
into
be
it.
honest, Lukaku was
No
involved in
crosses.
time. As much as I
He
want to
does
say
need to move in the box a little bit. That's all I'm going
No,
to
he
say.
does move it. Jeremy does move, but no one's passing it to him.
I didn't see him moving.
When they should,
Yeah,
they
well,
don't
He
pass
needs to
it.
do
Nick,
that.
we must have saw a different game to us. But
Um,
hey, what about this striker? That's
I
going to
think you
take
saw a
Nick-
What about
different-
Atilius
Nick-
Cesali? What about this news
Yeah,
about
I heard
Atilius
that,
Cesali being a Chelsea player
I
now?
haven't seen him play yet, but I think it could be good. I
Scores
don't
a
know.
lot of goals.
I haven't seen him.
He's
I
just
can tell you,
Rudiger.
I'm a
He's
Turkish.
just
Well, actually,
the
he plays
Hungarian
Turkish as
Rudiger.
well.
But,
He plays for Fenerbahce. I'm a Fenerbahce fan anyway, which is a Turkish team.
But I don't think Rudiger's going to go in the end. He's going to sign. I still have
No
my
chance.
hopes. Rudiger's not going nowhere.
Hey, Jem, can I ask a question about this transfer?
Go on quickly, then we'll go to VJ and Danzer as well. I want to talk to Dan. See what he's
Yeah,
saying.
is it a free transfer?
No, I don't believe so.
I'm just wondering if this is like another SAR that we're just going to
Is he coming in January? Maybe. That's a good question.
If he's coming in
get
January,
him
it can't be a free
temporary and
transfer.
then we're going to loan him out or
You reckon,
something like
Couch? Yeah.
Sorry?
You reckon January?
Yeah, well, if he's coming in January, it can't be a free transfer. He's still under contract, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be summer to be free.
But hold on
I
a second.
don't think we'll loan him out
at the
either.
end, and he might be a cheap.
We can all agree. We can all agree that Rudiger has been overworked right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, Couch. So if he's leaving,
Yes,
run
yes.
his legs into the ground, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, just
No,
run his legs
because
to
he
the ground
plays-
if he's
he
leaving.
plays
Listen,
worse
if
the more
he's
he
going,
goes down.
if he's
It's not healthy
going, he
for us.
plays every game until
I
he
agree with
goes,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I think what they're
Tottenham
doing,
can have
if
him
this
after
guy
we've
comes in
broken him.
January, it's to spell Rudiger, not replace him. That's basically what it is. If he comes in January, that's what it's about. It's because Rudiger's playing too many games and we need somebody. And Sar's going out on loan, if I'm not mistaken, too, right?
Yeah, Star's
Yup.
supposed to be going on loan.
To Inter Milan, I think.
Was he
There you
going to go
go.
to a Turkish team? Maybe give him Saar, and then we take so Fenerbahce take Saar on loan, and then
I'll
we.
tell you what, though. Yeah, I'm surprised that they're even allowing him to go because at the moment, Fenerbahce is second in their Turkish league. They are a little bit behind Trabzonspor or leading it. But if he's that important, to let him go in January when they're trying to win a Turkish title, which they haven't done in a long time, it doesn't make no sense to me. So that's why I'm thinking.
Question: How much does he cost?
Well,
I think he would be a free. I think he would be a free in the summer. They could do a pre-contract in January.
Yeah,
originally-
I think that's why they're letting him go.
If
originally
he's
it
a
was
free in the
20
summer,
million.
then yeah, they'll take that 20 million. They probably don't even get. Let me not even say that. I don't know if they get 20 million for winning their league. So why would they take the 20 million? Like, let's be real. Like you're talking about
Listen,
to win
don't
the
diss the
league.
Turks, bro. What's that about?
I don't even know if they get 20
League
million.
entry,
I
bro.
don't even know if they get that. You don't get no
The
20
Champions
million in
League.
your league.
Don't diss my country. What is that about?
Man, I'm sorry, they gotta hold that, bro.
Dad, what are you saying anyway? Come on, tell us what's going on.
I don't know. Like the topics have moved like from different players to different players. I don't know where to start really.
You can start. Wherever you
I'll
want.
just say this about the wingbacks and buying somebody in. I want you guys on your own free time just go back and look at our last 15 signings and tell me how many of them have actually worked out. Once you do that, you wouldn't be so eager to get signings, especially in January when the club haven't planned or looked at the player or was planning for them. Just a random guy that they're bringing in that might be able to do a job, might not, and now we're stuck with another player. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. That's probably my least interest based on how good we've been so far in getting players. Like our last 15 signings, probably 5 of them have been good.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
do you not just to counter that point? I don't think we're going out into the window in January to bring in a wing back because we want a permanent wing back. I think we've been forced into position through injuries. I think if we get somebody, it's because we've had injuries and we don't have the right cover.
I know I get that, but I wouldn't get somebody. I would rather bring
I
Madsen back,
agree
and I
with you.
get and I get
agree.
like his development and all that. But we spend 25 million on a player that doesn't work. We don't know what happens with Emerson. It's an option to buy, not an obligation. So what if they say no there, and now we have another? We will have 4 left backs at that
Yeah.
point. Like
And if you-
It's just bad business. I just wouldn't do it.
I agree. And from what Tuchel's been saying a lot, he's saying that he's going to convert Sol anyway, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about trying Saul there, talking about bringing Matson back. I'll go with those
Nice.
options.
Nah, man.
I'm done with Sal.
Yo,
Sal is
who is
useless,
on
man.
the phone?
Who's got saying in the background? I can hear something. What's going on?
I think it's the transfer market link.
Oh, it's transfer market. Yeah, it's transfer market.
Is it?
Yo, turn
Yeah.
the ad off.
Oh, it's this motherfucker. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah, I was saying for me,
Oh, it's him, Danny.
I'd rather bring back the Loney and figure out options within the squad instead of signing
Nice.
somebody out of panic and
Nice.
just I'm not doing that.
I'm
I
not
agree.
having that either, man. Like, we're in a title contention. We can win the Champions League and the Premier League this year. Like, if we do this right.
He's not
You
free.
don't
I knew he
bring
wasn't free.
Matson.
If
You
we
don't
bring
bring
our
Ian
no
Matson
needs
for
back.
cover.
I
Let
think
me
we
say
should
this.
bring
We
He's not
can't
better
Billy
than
hold on.
Gilmore and Conor Gallagher for sure. We need them
Listen, we
two
can't.
now.
We shouldn't make desperate like
But
most of our players aren't even in their prime. So we shouldn't be, oh, we have to win the league right now, so we have to make a decision
But
that
there's an
is going to affect
opportunity
us
to
in
do
5
that.
years. There
There's
is
an
an
opportunity
opportunity,
to
but
do
we don't
this.
have to make these type of decisions to actually do it. Most of our
I
players
don't. I
aren't
don't.
even in
I
their
think you're
title
wrong
winning
because
cycle.
regardless
No,
of whether or
this
not
is
we're in a
what
title
Thomas
state,
Tuchel has been stressing from this chart, right? Like when you start from the 4th spot, no one is expecting you to win the league just because you won the Champions League. It's got no relevance
Yeah,
for you
like
to win the
we're
Premier
not
League. Now.
favorites.
are we in a title
Like
race right now?
No, but
we
we
are,
should
no,
be
no, hold on,
challenging.
Let me say this.
Challenge.
We are in a title race. We
Yeah.
are in a title race when most of our players or most of our attackers or key players even are under 23.
That's
Like
true.
what
I agree with
that's
We're in a
that.
title
so it's
race.
like
I agree with that.
yes, we're in a title race, but we don't have to make decisions like critical decisions now to like, oh, we have to get a left back because we have to win it now. No, we don't. We
You
don't
know,
have
you know,
to do
we're
that.
Chelsea though, don't you? You know who we support. Like, you're telling me we're in a title race, and the powers that be aren't going to be like, okay, we have the chance to win this. Let's go spin
I
Ben.
hear you,
If
but
we've got the chance, they're going to go spend.
that's a
exactly.
decision. That's
I
a
hate that as
decision
well.
that no, that's a decision that made us sell Salah and get Willian.
Yeah.
Those are the
Dan-
decisions that made us sell Schürrle in that same window and get. I don't even know who we got for him. Like those are the decisions that you make because we still didn't win it in that year. We won it the next year.
I agree. I agree.
Dan,
I just
don't we
wanna
just
say,
need a
yeah.
body? Because Chilwell might actually need surgery. He actually might be out
listen.
longer. And they're going to make that decision in January. But if he's out, we need someone, yeah?
You have 6
Alonso
months,
gets
right?
We do
injured.
need someone.
Listen,
Yeah, I
listen.
agree.
You have 6 months, to figure out if we know he's out for a year or for 2 years and we know he's not going to be back. That means you're buying a permanent player. That means you're trying to get somebody who's going to start in that role. So now you want to get a random body now who we don't know how
Oh,
that person
nobody
is going to
said
play.
random body.
We'll use Aston.
Listen, I don't
think
know
Aston
what
would
top
just be
I don't know
used.
what top player you think is going to leave in January or what club is going to
No,
sell them.
I understand. I
No, no,
understand
There's a
what
lot to
Danny.
play. There's
I
lots of
I'm
understand
with a
what
players
random
Danny is
player
trying
to
to.
back up Alonso
No,
because
Declan,
I'm more.
Declan,
I'm the. Yeah. go on.
Declan, what Danny is trying to say is that, like, if at all we want to bring in a backup for Chilwell, this is too early to bring one.
I'm saying a backup for Alonso.
Here's my thing. I don't think we need to bring in a. Listen, if we're getting somebody because Chilwell is going to be out for a long time, then it's a replacement. Then it's somebody coming in to actually start, right? Right now in January, you're not going to get somebody like that.
What
You're
makes
just
you
not.
say that though? What?
And you
Based
look
on
at your
what?
loanees then.
History,
and you allow
history,
Tuchel to try and
bro,
elevate
bro.
one of the
What?
players there.
History of the
I
transfer
agree.
market.
One
Clubs are
Chelsea
not
You
going
got
to let.
David Luiz.
Missouri.
All right,
You
hold
got
on.
David Luiz. You got
Hold on.
Torres.
David Luiz wasn't starting for us when we got
Of
him in.
course he was.
He wasn't.
David Luiz, when
No,
he
he
came in that
wasn't.
window, of course he was starting. Are
He
you
was
kidding
starting
me?
for us.
You don't remember that goal he scored
Yeah, I
against
think he
Man
scored on
United?
debut.
Yeah.
Scored on
David
debut.
Luiz is a
Yeah,
starter.
he started for us, man.
Hey Dan, where I agree with you is the biggest question I had is that we went in for Hakimi and we didn't get him.
Yeah, what
So
did we?
we're
Where
obviously
did we
looking
finish
for.
that year? I forgot.
Second.
I know. Hey, we
No, we did
we
not.
missed out on we missed out
Second.
on Hakimi and we never went for a plan B, C, or even if it was. We obviously were looking at that target
Oh, God.
or at that position, and we never got no one, which is
We're,
kind
look,
of a
we're
big
looking
question
at
mark
right
for me.
back though, a right wing back. Hakimi's a right wing back.
He can also play left.
Yeah, he can. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, but we weren't
Yeah,
looking
but
to,
what I'm saying
to
is that we
replace
were
Chilwell.
looking. We didn't actually bring a right back on that
Fam,
one.
you
We
weren't
didn't-
getting Hakimi for 70 million to be a backup. He was going to start at a right wing back.
No, I get that down. I'm saying
Which
what I'm saying is that
means Rich James wouldn't be doing what he was doing. So it's like it's pointless even mentioning him.
no. What I'm getting at is that you know how we probably had like 4 strikers, for example, right? We had probably 5 players on that list that were going to go. We went through the list, right? But where was the wing back list? So
There
our
wasn't
thing
a,
is
there
having
wasn't a
Hakimi.
list, brother.
Yeah, it was one guy.
opportunistic.
Really.
It
Getting him
was
for
an
fun?
opportunistic signing. They saw an opening. Inter was selling. He's a fantastic player, so we went for him. We always do this. This is what Chelsea does. Opportunistic signings. You saw an opening for Havertz.
Yeah.
No one else could get him in that window, so we went for him.
We did it. Yeah.
We saw an opening for Werner for 45 million, so we went for it. We're an opportunistic club when it comes to signings like that. So Hakimi wasn't part of a plan where the club had like 6 right wing backs on board and said we'll go for this one. If he doesn't work, we'll go for this one. No,
Yeah.
it's the window opened up. Inter were in trouble and they were selling, so they looked at it.
I don't think we're doing a lot of
And this is why the success rate with Chelsea's transfers has been like
So
50-50,
trash.
right? Yeah, because
I think the long term goal with Hakimi, I think, was for Reece to move to right center back and Hakimi to be a right wing back.
There was no long-term goal. They were going
Yeah,
for Koundé as well.
Remember, Tuchel
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
liking
Well,
Reece James
Koundé
that
was sort of after they knew they weren't getting Hakimi.
To be fair, though,
honest,
boys-
we were going on all flanks. Actually, we didn't have a clear plan. Let's be honest.
Let's be
about it.
honest.
We didn't have a clear
Koundé we heard about Koundé rumors at the start of the window as well, right? We heard about it at the same time. So it's like, so the club is going for a center back and a right wing back. Which one is it?
I agree with a lot of what you said,
Remember,
but I must say, like, I do hate when people use the logic. Oh, well, if the classic example you said about Salah going, he was like, oh look, we got rid of Salah. If we kept him, he could have been the player that he was. Same with Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, we got rid of Kevin De Bruyne. If we kept him, look at the player he could have been. The thing is, you can't think like that or run a business like that. You've got to play with who's in form at the time. Like, if you're telling me now, would we get Hakimi over Reece James? I don't think we would because of how well Reece James has been playing. But if you instead at the start of the season, then you would have took Hakimi. Like, you've got to look at who's in form and who's playing.
Come on, I wouldn't have though. Like, I was very clear about not taking that guy for 70 million because I thought we had a player good enough. But if we're making a decision on we want to win right now, of course you go for the player who you see as ready right now. But if like I didn't think it was gonna take Reece James 6 months or 3 months to get to this point, but he got there a lot faster.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So it's like,
I'm
he was 20 years old playing wing back for 17 games. That's the first time he ever played it, and we all said we need to go out and sign somebody for 70 million.
No, I agree with you. I'm one of the people that says I don't think we should bring in a wing back in this January window. I don't think we should. I think if anything, it'll be.
I do think.
I wanted one, but we
overpriced.
need depth. I wanted depth.
It's too risky. It's too risky. Alonso's still here. Nobody wants to sign him for actual money, so he's gonna stay on our books, right?
I think if we
Emerson
get a
is an
centre
option
back,
to
we're
buy.
covered. If we get a centre back, we're covered. Because let's face it, we have Azpilicueta can play on the left. You have Alonso. Is he the greatest? No, but he can do a job. He's talking about using Saul there if need be. Potentially, he can do a job. Like, it's not. Are we saying that these are world star players that are the best at the best? No.
I don't think
You
you realise how. I don't think you realise how much offensively it fucks us. And I think you will realise it when we don't win the league. That's the truth. I'm going to be brutal.
I'm totally fine with bringing Matson back.
Listen, we have, but guys, we have other problems as well. Like, our center forward isn't scoring a lot of goals. We're not winning the league if he's not scoring, regardless of what you do with the left back. Conte's not fit. We're not winning the league if he or Kovacic aren't fit. It's not happening. So it's like
to get rid of him, man.
We have other problems.
Winning the league or losing the league.
We have other problems, guys. Like.
Yeah, but
Conte,
if
listen,
we're not doing well on the left.
What is the other problems for you?
Could add issues to the striker problem that you just mentioned.
Yo, midfield is a major problem. Midfield is a major problem. There's no way we can win this league if Kovacic and Conte remain injured, or they're injured back and forth. It's not happening.
Who else?
Like,
is it just the midfield and the wing backs? Or
it's not just the midfield. It's our center forward, and none of our center forwards are scoring. Whoever plays there. It's not like, if Lukaku is out of there, who else comes in is going to start scoring goals.
Is it now the system then?
No.
Are we blaming the system? Is the system the issue?
It's not about blaming the system. You got to figure out, Tuchel needs to figure it out, how to get our center forwards scoring. If it's, and it has to be Lukaku, obviously, because he's the one who actually scores goals. Because we're saying, we play better without him. Those 8 games without him, Havertz had 8 games to beat Lukaku's 3 goals. He did it. You know what I mean?
scored
It's not.
27, we scored 27 goals without Lukaku.
None of our center forwards are
Yeah,
really
our
scoring. Are we
defenders-
saying we're gonna
our
rely?
defenders
Hold on.
scored.
Are we saying we're gonna rely on? And part of those 27 goals, Chilwell was there, and he's gone now for the entire season.
You're speaking
Can I
fast
ask
right
you a
now,
question?
man. Trust me.
For
You're
me,
speaking
Chilwell
fast.
was a bigger reason why we
That
scored
20
than
And-
that 27
And another
That's my
part of those
opinion.
27 goals is Mason Mount scoring
No, but
5.
that
Are we
27
saying?
goals is more than just the individual scoring it. This is what you've got to understand. It's not just about who's scoring the goals. It's that the system's benefiting from it. That the system was working when we were scoring 27 goals. We're not doing that now. So
I agree with you,
Who was
Jen.
scoring the
I
goals
think
when we were
that
scoring?
Chilwell-
No. It was
Chilwell's the reason.
Listen. We were first of all we're playing really weak teams. But secondly, look at who was scoring those goals. People like to mention the Norwich game. Mount scored a hat trick in that game. Can you rely on Mount to score hat tricks every time or score hat tricks?
Can I, Dan? Can I make
And
a
look
point?
at look at Callum
Dan,
Hudson-Odoi's finishing. And-
Dan,
and-
Dan, two
Oh,
seconds.
Manchester-
Two
so-
seconds.
man.
Two
like-
seconds. 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, go
You
ahead.
keep saying about can you expect one player to be on form or this player to be on form? My argument would be this: our starting front three in form right now, nobody would have picked at the start of the season when we were doing our predictions. Nobody would have been starting Ziyech in the team, but I think now he has to start because on current form he's one of our best players. I don't think it's about not having the quality. I think it's about having a consistent three starting where we can get some rhythm. Our best performances when we started getting into a rhythm was arguably, when we had Kai, Mount,
Werner and Lukaku.
Turner, or Lukaku. And you've got to have a front three that play together to get some form and consistency.
Havertz, Ziyech, and Mount was it Havertz, Ziyech? So Havertz, Ziyech, and Cho was quite good for a little bit.
Yeah,
when they were
and that's my point. Sometimes it's not about not having the quality. Sometimes injuries and form play a factor. And the fact is anybody says that we ain't got the quality up front for me is deluded because we have more than enough skill and quality in this team to win the league. It's
Of
about getting the
course,
best
I'm
out of the
saying.
players.
Listen, no. What I'm saying is the person who you can rely on to score goals on a consistent basis is Lukaku, right? Playing in the system without him, we've seen how that leads. Sometimes they're going to score, and sometimes they're not.
Exactly.
They're inconsistent. That's always going to happen.
Yeah, I
More
agree
times
with
than not, is going to score goals. So if you build your system without him getting to score goals, you're going to get what you get now, which is some games we can thrash him 7-0, and then you have a 1-1 versus Burnley, or a 1-1 versus United, where we created so many chances but couldn't score. You're going to have those games.
It's also a good thing that you have a squad that are all contributing because you don't want to be one of these teams that rely on the one individual Lukaku scoring all your goals. Because I still
No,
don't
but
think
you definitely need a
in the league.
consistent goal scorer, though. And that's what
You can-
Lukaku's supposed to be, right?
But
Like,
Man,
you need him
like I
to
keep
get.
saying, Man City won the league last season with no top
Yo,
goals.
we can't build
And
on that.
they still don't have one. They still don't have one. In fairness,
It's what I'm
they
saying.
get a lot of
It's
goals
still
from
gonna be
the
up there.
creators.
They're doing
You
it
don't have
without
the
him.
But wait,
Mo
did it-
Salah- Mo
hold
Salah
on.
carries Liverpool. Mo Salah and
They get a
Liverpool.
lot of
the only-
goals from the
wait a
midfield.
sec. Mo Salah and Liverpool, the only example of a goal scoring in the Premier League, a goal scoring forward consistently scoring throughout every season.
But hold on,
I
Jem.
agree.
For out of the Pep has won 3 titles, right? 2 of those, Sergio Aguero scored over 20 goals.
Who?
Sergio
but-
Aguero scored over 20 goals. Sterling scored over 17 goals.
Yeah, I agree with
You know what I
that.
mean? All those
Back
guys
in the
were
day,
scoring
yeah.
double-digit goals. Last season is an anomaly. You don't plan based on an anomaly. Like, you don't plan based on having your center mid score 14 goals. Gundogan scored 14 goals, by
It's
the
not a
way.
bad thing when they're all scoring. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's not a great thing either.
you
It just
can lose
happened for
games
them and it
if
worked
one-
out.
If you can lose games if you rely on 1 or 2 top scorers to be scoring all your goals. Look at Tottenham, for example. Yeah, big example. They got Harry Kane and Son score all their goals, but who else scores for them?
Look at Man City right now.
If they don't score, who wins game? Who? They don't win the game.
Listen,
Yeah,
Manchester City. Hold on,
That's the
Manchester
issue.
City has had how many games this year without scoring a goal?
Who?
6.
About 6, right? They've had 6 games. If we had a consistent goal scorer, we'll be probably 7 points off top right now. Let's be honest.
but
if
you're
we had a
talking what ifs and
consistent
maybes.
goal,
You got to look what the system is.
Yes,
I know,
Not the fact that there
I
is.
get that, but I'm saying that their lack of a consistent goal scorer,
there you
because
go.
they create chances every single game as well.
There's 3 goal scorers in Liverpool. Sorry, Jota, Mane, and all right. This is this season, and Salah. All 3 of them are banging in goals at the moment.
Are
That's
banging
the
them.
lead.
You know?
Mount can do that.
All I'm saying is, all I'm gonna say, guys, is we can't use City as the
base.
standard because it's
No, I
not.
agree with it.
You can't. It's not really something that we can use as admissible, as
Facts.
You can
evidence as
still
to
win
how we-
leagues with it, Couch. That's my point.
No.
but that-
Pep
that's
can
an
win
anomaly,
leagues with it.
though.
Pep
is
can
such
win
an
leagues with it.
anomaly. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that most teams rely on. We need somebody that can score consistent goals. Let's just be honest.
Couch, I'm going to ask
We
you this.
saw
quickly,
even
yeah?
last year. We
All
saw
right,
it
I'm going to
last
ask
year,
you
right?
something. I'm going to ask you when you think about Chelsea and how successful they've been in their title-winning seasons, barring Didier Drogba when he scored over 30-odd goals in one season, how did they used to win titles? It wasn't just because they only had one player scoring 20, 30 goals a season.
Frank
They had
Lampard
goals
scored 20.
everywhere. That's what I'm
Frank
saying to
scored
you.
20 usually.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, you need a
Lampard was a
consistent
scorer.
goal scorer. That's what I'm
Jam, do
talking
you
about.
want to go through? I mean, we can go through it. Do you want to go through our title winning seasons? Our striker always scored 20
It's all
goals.
about, like, while we're talking
Yeah,
about
but
I
it
don't care
wasn't
where
just
they're
him,
coming
was
from,
it? I'm
whether
saying
it's
it's
a
Yeah,
striker
and then
or
another
everywhere,
player
isn't it?
always
This
scored
isn't
double
boring.
digits. It was
It's
I think
when
he
he
fun.
needs to
won.
go three
guys,
Hazard
players.
I
scored.
don't care where
Hazard
the goals
scored
come from,
15
but
and
we need
13
somebody
goals.
that's going
Yeah.
to consistently score
Yeah,
them.
that's
That's all
true.
it is.
You're talking about
Somebody
the
has to
context season.
consistently score them.
Huh?
Can I ask you a question? What's the point we're trying to make? Because I've
I
got
don't know.
lost somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know what we're
confused.
talking about.
I'm just trying.
To me,
I
it
think we're
sounds
just
like
trying
we're
to say you
arguing
don't
about
need a number
you
9 to
can't win a
win.
league without a 20 goal score.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Are
we're
we
not
basically saying
winning.
you can't win the league without a striker getting 20 goals? Because
We're not winning the league if Lukaku doesn't get scored. Basically, it's
okay,
not
No,
but
he
happening.
then
has to score.
Wait, if someone
He
else
has to
starts
score,
scoring,
yeah.
then we don't need Lukaku.
Exactly.
yeah, because my argument is
But no one else
didn't
is going to start
Giroud
scoring.
win a World
Yeah, but
Cup and
then
not score a
hold
single
on.
goal?
The system right now is more important than
Come
Lukaku
on, Matt.
itself.
He lost it.
If you want to flip the whole
Was it the
script,
Euros?
you're gonna change the
Come on,
strength of
Matt.
all the players
You're
and the
better than
unique
that.
system that we're running. Right? If
Going
Lukaku
there,
doesn't
innit?
adapt,
What do you mean
why
other
have us?
players? A lot of our forward players haven't looked good in this system anyway.
Yeah, but what about our wingbacks, defenders, and Jorginho
Drogba
and
never
plus
Our
helped us
top
win
than
wingbacks,
the
that?
our
league. What am
wingbacks
I
just started
reading
playing
here?
good in the system when we inverted them. Prior to that, you guys wanted Hakimi to come in for Reece James.
You said
Like,
that.
so
No,
what?
why
We just
not?
we just brought him up
Oh,
that he was the
fam.
actual. There was evidence there that
Why
we
do they
went for
bring
it.
up Hakimi all the time?
Why
I
were you
just feel
doing
like
it
we're
trendy?
hitting panic
Hakimi's
I
mode.
not a
just bring up
Chelsea
what everyone
player.
else said. What I'm telling you now, and what you're trying to say is that if we don't build around Lukaku and change everything, we're not going to
We ain't
win.
gonna win anything. Yeah.
If someone else, if Havertz starts scoring,
Yes.
right, and it's evident that as a collective, as a front three, we're getting more goals, right? That's how we should rate it.
Jesus Christ. What's
Is the
more
front
likely?
three.
What's more likely? Like, let's use our brains here. What's more likely? Havertz will start scoring after what we've seen, or Lukaku is scoring if
No,
we suit him. What's
Sam,
more
Boys, have you
likely?
ever heard?
I'm gonna judge it from which
We want to
three
build a
combination.
system
No,
around
hold on.
players who are
Which,
not in their
You
prime,
need
and
to
we
be.
expect to win the league.
listen, Dan,
So
Dan, I'm,
Lukaku's in his
I'm
prime. You got to build a team around him.
not
Or
about
to an extent.
Lukaku. You got to build
But
around the
what
front
you're
three.
saying is
Judge
you have
around
to
front
choose.
three players.
Ain't
Which
about front
three
three.
combination?
Listen, what
It
works
is.
with Lukaku and what gets him scoring goals. That's how we win this freaking league.
Right.
The rest of these
It's
guys,
the
listen,
front.
Havertz is 22, Mount is 22, Pulisic is
Yeah. They're still
23.
very young.
All
I
these
agree.
guys are not in their prime. So you
Yeah,
want
I
to do a
agree.
front three because they can move around and run and all that. They're not gonna win games.
Declare what
Can I
you're
ask you a
saying.
question? Can I just ask
A
one
collective
question?
front
Simple
three. Whoever
question.
does the better.
Declare,
I'm gonna judge
declare,
the three
declare,
collective
Daniel.
goals.
One
Yeah.
question. Right, one question. As far as our front three forward, whoever you want to say it, do you think they're performing better this season or last season?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think they've had
because
like
what I'm hearing here is we're arguing about we can't win the league doing it this way. Yet for me, we're in a better position. We're performing better, and our players are playing worse. So if they start kicking up to gear, surely the argument is Tuchel's got it right, and actually
no,
all this
that's
argument's invalid.
no. Listen, we're saying that because our back line has been conceding 4 goals in 12 games. That's changed, obviously. So
Yeah,
once
but
that
you're going to have
changed,
spells
then
like that, aren't you?
We didn't have this many injuries last season. That's a big factor. No one looks the same. Players look out of form, and if we get back to the form where we don't have injuries and people start playing again, then yeah, we can win the league. I think
fam, you got to deal with what's in front of you right now. We're going to concede goals. We need to
Guys,
accept
can you
that
hear me?
now, right? Especially
Every
Conte.
football team's going to concede goals, though.
No. More than listen, we were on track to concede less than 20 goals. I think that's changed.
Yeah,
changed.
but
And
our
I think
recent
that's
goals
changed.
have been from
No,
individual
but
errors.
I think that's changed
We haven't been
because
outplayed.
all right.
Now, what is this with Lukaku? I don't understand this. First of all, my question is, does it mean that just because we bought him for 100 million, he should be expected to score goals? Like, does that pressure? I mean,
Yes.
I understand the financial aspect.
Yeah, 100% you should be.
Sorry,
I have a
Look,
question for you
do we
guys.
need him to
So-
score goals to win the league? No, but
Answer
should
me
he be scoring goals? Yes.
Answer me
So
this
you no.
question.
You think we don't need him
No.
to score goals to win the league?
Wait. Answer me this question.
We need someone to score goals.
Let me ask the question, right? Let me ask it. So you pay 100 million to Lukaku? or you paid that money to Inter Milan?
Yo, this
They
is.
asked
I
him
don't even know what
personally.
this argument is. Like,
No,
it's not about that.
No, answer my question. You paid this money to Lukaku or Inter Milan? Inter Milan, right? So for Inter Milan, this player is of 100 million value. That's how you'll have to financially. That's how it makes sense, basically, right? It doesn't make sense where like we bought him for 100, so we straight away expect him to. He's still a human. He still have to evolve. He still have to get back to the Premier League. He's come back from an injury. You're expecting a system. Declared was expecting a system to be revolving around Lukaku. What if Lukaku gets injured tomorrow?
Facts,
The opposite,
BJ.
sorry.
Keep spitting, BJ. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if Lukaku gets injured tomorrow? We don't have a system to play with. Like now, the system is effective because we've got wing backs and everyone contributing. We've got 17 different goal scorers.
Exactly.
You want the entire system to revolve around Lukaku, and Lukaku gets injured.
Yes.
What next? Again, shift back the same system, and that's not going to happen.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture.
Can I just add to that as well? We've got 9 since Lukaku and Werner have been injured. We've had 9 different goal scorers.
Correct.
Do you think that's sustainable? Do you think that's sustainable?
I don't see why not.
Without Chilwell, I don't see it.
Goals from all over the pitch is sustainable.
I'll tell you who scored them goals, yeah? Just so you know as well.
Jem,
Mason
just
Mount,
touching on that, is that
Reece James, N'Golo Kante, Kai Havertz, Jorginho, what was the other one?
Alonso.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry, Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Alonso scored a couple of goals.
Do those names ring you with confidence?
Jem, my point would be is you said, somebody said, is this sustainable? And I think they're missing the point that it's irrelevant. You don't need it to be sustainable to the end of the season. Yeah. You just need it to be sustainable until Lukaku or Mount or Werner get a little bit more form and then they'll start scoring goals again.
Yeah, I understand. Guys, let me just get this point off. Just one point. I agree with everything you guys are saying right now. Like, we don't necessarily need Lukaku to be our consistent goal scorer, even though I think he is our best goal scorer.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to get consistent goals. Yes. All I'm saying is how we play with Lukaku and how we play with Havertz is completely different.
Cool.
We need to figure out how to play with Lukaku, all right? Because he's the best option that we have to score goals. He's our best option. So I'm not trying to hear this. Well, we have to he has to adapt to our system. We have to find a system that works for him. He's the spear of our attack.
Exactly, Crouch.
We're generating opportunities for him to finish.
Other than N'Golo Kante, Lukaku's our best player. Why wouldn't you play for your best player?
When Lukaku's in the team, you have to take risks. And this is why we were praising Kovacic at the start of the season, because he was the only midfielder taking risks. And that's how he racked up all his assists and all that. Right? Lukaku has 4 goals. 2 of them came from him. And that's what we're praising him. He was bumming forward, making passes through. The only one that was connecting with them. He's gone. We don't know when Kante's coming back. Tuchel told you that. So how are we relying on goals coming from everywhere? Chilwell is gone as well. Look at the name that you even mentioned. You don't have confidence that Mason Mount is going to get you 15 goals this year. You don't have confidence that Harris is going to get you 15 goals this year.
No, but I expect Callum double-digit goals. I expect them to get double-digit goals, yeah. Like, even if it's 10 or 11. Like, I expect that.
It's not going to win you the league.
50-plus games. Yeah, maybe. But if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 of them doing that, then it adds up, doesn't it?
All right, your tune is going to change in 4 games.
Well, look, Mount can do it. Havertz can do it. Werner should be doing it, and he's not doing it. Yeah. Who else have we got that can consistently do that?
I'm just saying.
I think Mount's
got to be realistic. Because we don't have the confidence that these guys are going to be able to score consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Mount can.
And now suddenly we have the confidence.
But Mount didn't score that many last season. How many goals did Mount score last season?
Not
6.
More than 7.
Yeah, but you got to remember he was only playing the front 3 from the second half of the season.
Listen, he scored 6 in the league last season.
Yeah,
now he has 5.
Are we? Yeah, go on.
Mount's our highest goal scorer.
I love Mason, but you guys are super confident he's going to be our he's going to get 15 goals this year. These guys who So then what do we? I don't get what we're saying here.
No, I get what you mean. I think we're arguing 2 different points. I think you're arguing what's going to be best for the future because we've got a load of young lads. We should be developing them and playing to a system that suits us best. And then you've got other people saying, well, we should be playing to Lukaku because, you know, he's a £100 million striker. You should be playing to his strengths. So there needs to be a change. But to be honest, I think it's a mixture of both. You can't just rely on Lukaku and then at the same time, you're going to want your youth to dispatch goals all around the pitch.
Yeah.
I think it's just, if anything, all it seems to me when I try and reflect on it is anything, this is more to do with actually Tuchel's setup and tactics than it is the players and how they're performing.
Keep saying it. Yeah,
Facts.
I agree.
That's what I'm. No. I definitely agree with that. But people don't want the system changed. That's the argument here. I'm saying change the system to get your 100 million striker scoring.
Yes,
right?
I
And
get
people
that.
are saying, no, don't change the system because we have a free-flowing front three that sometimes scores and sometimes doesn't, and we draw 1-1 with Burnley, and we barely win a couple games. Like, what are we saying here?
We're eventually going to have to.
We have 2 draws and a loss in our last 5, guys.
Guys, we're eventually going to have to change that system anyway. My point is, if players are suffering in it, which it's clear that some of them are, why do we not have a system 2 anyway? System 1's cool if we want to play that way. But if we do need to switch in games and it's not working, then at least have that system 2 if it is a free one.
Honestly, the problem is our midfield is inflexible.
Just have options. Don't just stick with one. Have 2. Why can't we have 2 different systems?
Exactly.
To be fair though, didn't we try a new system? Didn't we try and play it?
3-5-2, but you don't play that at the beginning of games because it's too.
No. But didn't we in the last game where we didn't we have one holding, which was originally I can't remember who got injured, and then Ruben had to play there. So we did have a backup system. We went to one person sitting and we put more creativity up front.
It looked good.
It looked good. The problem that we have is you then had Ruben in the holding who can't control it. If you had had Jorginho in there, I think that would have been I think we would have been a completely better team. But
changing any system holds the same risk
No,
as the 3-5-2.
Here's the thing with people. I think some of our players, our forward players, are getting a bit too much of a bat. None of them have been consistent this season. There's been times where it's like, Lukaku this week, Werner this week, fucking Joe that week, Matt that week, Havertz this week. None of them has shown me enough to say you deserve to consistently start for Chelsea Football Club up front and be the main source of, end product. They've all been just in and out, hit and miss and shit. The only person I could say with confidence that for me deserves to be there, and this isn't even based on the stats, but just based on what I've seen them produce on the pitch, is Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's been the most active trying to create something out of nothing. Yes,
I think you got to put Reece James in there as well.
You got Reece James in there as well.
Yeah. My argument is this: think of your dream team. The only player I've had in my dream team the whole season has been Reece James, and I went to put Chilwell in, but he got injured.
Mine was
I went to Chilwell in, but he got injured.
And Thiago Silva as well.
And Rudiger. You guys are missing that third man. You know what it is? Even the wing back thing. You see what it is with wing backs? I told everyone that's why we should have got some backup wing backs in the summer, but no one tried listening to me.
I would have had them a try away, but
what?
All I remember was you
as backup till we came, not to start.
Guys, 2 hours and nearly 30 minutes of streaming today. A big show for all of you. Still 140 of you guys here. Continue to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new, please. Also, massively appreciate. Leave your comments below as well. Do you agree with what the panel said today? Do you disagree? What's your thoughts? You can do all that below. I have got to finish because 2 hours and 30 minutes is pretty long stream, guys. Pretty long stream, not gonna lie. Had the time today. Had the time. It's good. I enjoyed it as well. It's always a good debate.
Yo, Jim, I got a question for you though.
Yeah, go on.
And this is again on the Lukaku thing. And anyone answer it, but I want to get Jem's opinion on this. Do you buy a £100 million striker and not have a system to play him in?
Good question. Do you want my honest opinion?
Chelsea do.
Do you want my honest opinion about Lukaku and buying him? I think we've bought him because we know he scores goals, but haven't thought how he can fit the system.
I think you're right.
Exactly.
I think that is exactly what's happened, and
it's
now
up
we're seeing that it's not
to sort it out.
maybe working. Yeah, now we're seeing that it's not maybe working. It's now, like you guys are saying, on Tuchel to now try and find a way of getting it to work. I don't think they actually thought about it well enough. I think we need a goal scorer. Let's get him. We couldn't get Ireland. We'll get Lukaku. He's a goal
Jem,
scorer. That's
I
what
agree
sorry.
to the first. I agree to the first part of the sentence. The second one, maybe we'll have to tweak a bit. It's not that we've been thought through. Maybe whatever Tuchel thought through that Lukaku could adapt, maybe it's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't think Tuchel gets
No,
a lot
because
of
I'm
the
not
say.
seeing
He just says,
Tuchel.
"I
I'm
need a
not seeing
striker."
Tuchel playing a different system when he's in there. He just plays them in the exact same way, and no one who plays in that role is scoring goals. So it's either that whoever's in that role is not meant to score goals, which is then why did you get? You could have spent money on a cheaper player to do that for you,
Yeah.
to not score goals and just run that
Yeah.
system for you. If that player is not meant to actually score,
Yeah, but do you
if
know
he
what the
is meant
issue
to
was?
score,
Yeah.
Tuchel
Go on, Dan.
hasn't gotten any of them to actually score.
Do you know what the issue was, Dad? At the end of last year, we were all sitting here and going, we're one striker away from winning the league. All we need is goals, if you remember, because the last season we couldn't score, or we was creating so much, but we just had no one to put it in the back of the net. So what did the ball do? They heard it. They probably spoke to Tuchel. They went out. They tried Haaland for a long time. Didn't work. And then it got to a point where they were like, we need to get a striker. We need to get... They go to Lukaku. They buy him based on his... You're right. Based on him being a goal scorer. He is a goal scorer. He scores goals. Giving him to Tuchel. Tuchel's obviously agreed to it as well. I just don't think we've actually sat there well enough and thought, actually, is he the specific type of player that fits our system currently? I think we've just gone, get a striker, put him in, he'll score goals because we're going to create for him. And now we're not doing that because the system's maybe not ticking as well.
But
Maybe within it. It's now becoming a bit of an issue.
You're missing a massive factor, Jim, because when the transfer would have happened, or before the transfer, right? Tuchel would have met up with Lukaku, right? And they would explain, this is how I want you to play, and you're going to convince him as well what he's joining into, right? You would have told him, I want you to play like this, and this is how we're going to use you, and so on, right? And Lukaku probably would have gave assurances, yeah, I like that. I want to join that project, right? I want to play like that. And Lukaku probably said he can do something which he's struggling to do, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't just like, not that they never talked and they just got him in and expected to throw him in there.
The comparison has to be Belgium. That has to be the comparison.
Yeah.
Like, listen, this is the system that we're trying to run. Here's where you fit into that, and we're not playing like that right now. Let's just be honest. We're not playing that.
Couch, could you argue that we may not just have the personnel like Belgium do that get the best out of Lukaku?
I don't think that we have the guys that can really pick the lock right now.
Yeah.
We just don't have those guys.
I just want to
There is
remind
some
you, Man
differences
City.
between Belgium and the way we play, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to internationals, it's not as organized as the Premier League, right? Internationals don't get to train with each other. A lot of strikers look a lot better. And I guess if we were playing, I don't know, more looser teams or unorganized teams, I'm sure Lukaku would look as great as he does. It's when teams are set up defensively well is where Lukaku is struggling. And it shouldn't be like that, because for me, it's not just Lukaku. Lukaku should be scoring, but as a whole team, we should be scoring a lot more. And Tuchel has set up a system where we're scoring. The front five attackers, which is the two wing backs and the three forwards, are actually all chipping in. And I'm happy if the goals are high amongst them, right? Of the front five who are up front and getting the opportunities. As long as the goals
And
are being
finish
converted
fourth.
across the board, and my point was, and I think when we started the stream, was that if our tactic was just get into Lukaku to score, that makes it defensively easy for opponent teams. But if we had a front five, which were all chipping in, like if Lukaku done nothing a whole game, but he actually got the best defenders the attention of the other team, and everyone else was chipping in, I'm happy with that too.
I think you got to look at the stats, ain't you?
We're gonna.
You got to look at the stats as well. There can't be something wrong with the system if we're creating as many chances as we are. Like you physically can't be, because we're creating more chances than every other team. So our issue is just that final finish. But that's why when people say that.
Wait, let me get this right. So we'll spend So you don't spend 100 million for him to be another system player. You spent him because you knew he was going to score a goal, so you change your system to suit him. If you want another system player, you have the same problem you have now, where chances are spread out and they might miss, they might not. 2 might go to Mount this game, 3 might go to Havertz this game. It always flips, right?
I disagree in
With
a certain.
Lukaku on your team, you want him getting the most of the chances. Not that you don't want the others getting chances or the system doesn't work with. We know he can get assist. He had 11 last year. The Spurs game, he gave 2 on the platter to freaking Werner.
Yeah, no,
But then
I
Liverpool
agree.
game, he gave 2 on the platter to Mount. So
I agree
we
in a
know he
disagree.
can.
That's because he
Do
run
you
into
think he can
space. By the
actually
way,
play the
yeah.
system though? You reckon he can adapt?
Yeah,
Because
look, I don't
obviously
think
gave
I
some
don't think we went
insurance
out.
that
Fam,
he can play it.
if he adapts, it's a complete waste.
I
Why?
disagree. You don't create as many chances as we create. Out-create chances more than any other team in the Premier League. We didn't go out and buy Lukaku and went, well, actually, we're going to stop
Fam,
doing
when we
this
create
great thing.
chances, no,
Hold on.
when
Let
we
me
create
finish.
chances,
Right? You don't go out and buy a striker and then go, actually, we're going to get rid of everything we do and we're going to change it to suit you because you're going to get us goals. You don't do that. What he'd done is we went out and we went, right, Lukaku's a finisher. Do we think he can play in the system that we're playing in? And do we think we can get the best out of him? Do we think we can keep doing what we're doing and then start finishing these chances?
Yeah,
I
but
think
that
the issue
what
is
you're
at the
saying,
minute.
Maddie, what you're saying right now, Maddie, is you're saying Lukaku is supposed to be a more diverse striker, a guy that can fit into multiple systems.
I'm not. I'm saying.
How is a Lukaku effective then? What does he do to be effective? How does he score these goals?
So my
And what
argument
made
is,
you
and
want to
again,
buy him?
you asked the question, I'll answer it. My argument is this: just before he got injured, we were playing the same style of football, creating the same amount of chances that we have for him all season, and he started to look brilliant. So now we're saying because he's come back from an injury and he's not on it, actually the system doesn't suit him. That's bull in my opinion. Because in the last couple of games before he got injured, he adapted and he was doing well. So
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that for sure.
I was about to finish, and then Minerals comes in the door. Literally been 2.5 hours. Minerals, where you been? You turn up 2.5 hours later.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know you were on, so I thought I'd jump on. Sorry, it's late then. Sorry, lads.
No, that's fine.
Future captain, yeah.
It's all right. Let
I'll do another hour now, Jem.
Mason Mount's captain, and
let
Reece
Johnny
James,
Mount
future
talk,
captain.
please.
We're talking about Lukaku and how we fit him in the system, Johnny, quickly at the moment. I'm going to finish in a bit, but basically, some people saying that we need to switch the system.
Johnny doesn't like Lukaku. Forget it.
No, it's not. I don't like him. I think this whole ethos of we've got to build around Lukaku is cat, mate. I'm not having it. I think he needs to build his game around us and the other 10 players that plays in the system, because all the other players suit the system. If it's just Lukaku doesn't suit it, then he needs to adapt to it. Simple as.
You're fashioning moves for him to finish, right?
Does it have to be he has to fully adapt, or the system has to fully adapt?
No, I just
what
think
he's maybe saying it can be a bit of 50-50. It's a bit of both.
The system's not going to change. The system
You're saying no, hold on. You're saying all the other players suit this system, right? If Havertz isn't playing in that false nine or center forward role, where can he play in this system?
He can play on the right or the left. He can play on the right or the left.
He hasn't looked good on the right or the left.
Well, he played against Arsenal with Lukaku in the middle, and he was on the right, and Mason Mount was on the left.
He was invisible against Arsenal.
But we did
Mason
pay
was great.
No, we won the game 2-0.
70-something mil for him, yeah? So
who
the
scored?
argument goes, if
Even
we
in
had
the Liverpool
investment, we
game,
build around
even in
him.
the Liverpool game, he wasn't invisible, and he scored the goal, didn't he? So I mean,
no, he wasn't invisible.
Kai
Havertz wasn't that great.
is more versatile than Lukaku is. 100%.
Of course he is.
And
he
he
can play
doesn't, but he
multiple.
doesn't score more goals than Lukaku.
You didn't buy Lukaku for versatility. You bought him for finishing quality.
You bought him to score goals.
Havertz has been poor this season.
Listen, what matters is who scores more goals. That's the whole point. He doesn't score more goals than Lukaku.
Goals. He's got 4 goals.
Yeah, he's been injured.
3 goals in the Premier
And while
League.
he's been injured, how many goals has Havertz scored?
All right. So he's played when he started the season. Right before he got injured, he's got 4 goals. 1 of those is in Champions League, and 3 of them are in the Premiership. For a 100 million striker, he's gone injured. He's come back. He's still not scored.
While he was injured, how many goals did our 70 million striker score?
I feel like
he's got 4 goals.
Boys, I feel like you're going to go around in circles for this one. Some people love him, some people hate him. I think
No, since he's been injured, he scored 2.
I'll ask Jem a question.
He's got 4 in all
but Havertz is in the
striker.
So I don't know why he's
comparing.
Havertz is a striker. Tuchel said he's a striker.
Yeah, go on,
There's
mate.
an interview.
Yeah, go on, Matty. Let's go.
Well, I thought because with these boys, we'll just go round and round, and I'm part of that as well. But I thought, means you're ending the stream. Let's get back on the focus. My question to you is, and to everybody else, just one name if you could have one transfer in January, what position and who is it?
Maddie, left wing back.
Left wing back for sure.
Left wing back.
Yeah, but who?
I'll tell you.
I'll say you.
Gosens.
Go down the list. If you want time to think, Jem, go down the list.
Yeah, go on. All right, go on, Grailston. Answer it first. Go on.
What was the question?
So if you could have one signing in January, just one, right? Who you signing? What position?
One signing. I would sign. Alright, I would sign a left wing back. Do I have to name them?
Yeah, if you've got a name, go for a name.
Does it have to be realistic?
Yeah, ideally realistic.
All right, bet.
Gosens. I've answered it for you. There you go.
Gosens is a good answer. If he could be a good option. We definitely need someone though. We have to get someone. I'm sorry, we missed Chilwell so badly. I think he's one of the main reasons why we went on that crazy good form as well. Because his worst game was the Burnley game. I thought Chilwell was poor against Burnley, and that's why we drew that game and did win.
Yeah. What are you saying, VJ? If he's there, I don't know if he's there. I don't think he's there. Go on, then, Couch. What are you saying?
Yo, Bob Marley called a name there, man. I can't lie. Theo Hernandez would be a fantastic left wing back for us right now. But
who?
Theo Hernandez. But I'm gonna go with either Gosens or Mala. So I think that the ability to play both sides I think is important. Like to play left wing back, right wing back, because we're not going to be able to just like put 60 million on one guy and then not have him have multiple options to play in the side. You know what I mean? So I think you have to be versatile. But Theo Hernandez is a good shout for sure.
Fair enough. What are you saying, Declare?
I'm a little torn. I was just from the qualities perspective, Koundé for me, but the wing back, we need someone desperately. And Tagliafico was a name that really sounded possible, and someone that probably will sit behind Chilwell even if he comes back in his prime. So that one made sense. I think, yeah, either one of the two for me. I think.
Fair enough. Minerals.
Well, I'd bring back someone on loan for that left wing back position for the rest of the season. And me personally, I'd bring back Eden Hazard for 6 months.
There you go.
A wing back.
No, not for wing back. Not for wing back. I just would want Eden Hazard in our team for the rest of the season.
Okay, I hear that. I think you'd actually get a system switch if he came back because he wouldn't fit this 3-4-3. He'd have to play a different system. But
he's too slow now to play
He
winger.
wouldn't get started, Jim, would he?
But it is what it is, isn't it? Nick Blue, what you saying?
Yeah, I will go for Gosens for left wing back in January because we need to have someone there because Chilwell's going to be out for a long time. But I'm agreeing with Johnny for once. Eden Hazard to come back because I read that Roman Abramovich is really thinking of bringing him back.
21 million.
21 million is a I said that. I've said that earlier.
But what about his wage?
Can I just say we're going to get?
He might get Lukaku going as well and be a different team. I'd love to see that actually.
Yeah, I do hear that.
He's
what
what we miss. We miss that sort of.
Yeah,
player.
we miss it, Johnny. We miss him.
That sort of in the latter stages of the season, Champions League games. He's got that brilliance. He draws players, and I'm not saying he's gonna be the old Eden Hazard, but even a 70% Eden Hazard is miles better than all the attackers we got except
put
Mason
together.
Mount.
Yeah.
But is he even 70%? I don't want to say a Hazard. I think he's going to be injured all the time.
He's too slow. He's too slow.
Yeah,
watched him.
Let's not delve into a Hazard debate now because that'll be another hour, which means
Yeah. Just choose your person.
The Hazard one's simple.
Go on, Dan.
Yeah, I'll get a defensive mid, Brozovic.
Brozovic. Oh man, defend that man, please.
I want a DM.
What do you see in Brozovic that you want?
Brozovic is excellent.
He's not as good as Barella. Barella's better.
Barella is not a DM.
Yeah,
not
but
a
he's
defensive
used us
mid.
as no, but we don't need a DM.
Is
We
this
need more
guy's
like
your
a.
pick or my pick? I
No,
want
it's
No,
it's
you're meant to challenge you. I'm just
I
challenging
want
you.
a defensive mid, either Brozovic or Kunde.
I
Bring Kunde in to play defensive mid. I want a
I like
defensive
it
mid.
then because
I would
Brozovic did what Jorginho does as well. So
I would want
and he defends.
Yeah, I would want. I'd say one. I'm going to be greedy. Like the two people I want is Kunde at the back, and then in the midfield I want Tchouameni. There you go. All right, there it is.
Well, I'd love Declan Rice. I'd love Declan Rice.
Well, I would,
Mr. Rice.
Declan Rice later on. I don't want.
You
Chelsea
said realistic.
Yeah,
I really
Front to Ben. Rice is
Tchouameni and
only the
Kunde.
front to Ben, Johnny.
I'd want
Get him.
Tchouameni in the winter transfer.
Oh, VJ, go on.
Yeah, I'd want Tchouameni is what I wanted to say because I still think we've got an issue with the left wing back position, but more than that, our midfield plays a very integral role in getting us back to the all these competitions. So I think maybe we'll have to have an additional option there in Tchouameni. So I think if Tchouameni comes in, maybe Alonso Tchouameni, those areas can be covered a bit more easily. So Tchouameni.
Yeah.
I mean, Kovacic is due to be back.
Nobody said Marwood. I'm quite surprised.
Go on, Matt Kay. Go on. What are you saying?
Okay, yeah. Look, so mine's a realistic one. I'm going to be honest. I'm one of these too many divas as well. I just don't think that'll happen. My one, and maybe I think it's a long shot.
Realistic, Matty.
I just don't think it is in January. Do I think we'll get him? I think we've got a good chance. I just don't think in Jan. The one that I think would be best for us, and as much as I agree that left wing back's an issue, I'd bring back Gilmore because I think we play a system now, and the one thing that we've all agreed on is when we don't really have a backup plan, like a plan B. And the one thing you've seen Tuchel try and do was that one holding midfielder. The only person I think can play that role at the minute is Jorginho. And if he's out, I don't see another person, and I think Gilmore is good at it, that can play out and create them quick counter-attacking opportunities. I think the other options we have there are just a bit too slow. So for me, it'd be bringing Gilmore back.
How did Johnny say that one?
We got class ref. Before I go class ref, I am about to finish because I've been going on for nearly 3 hours here. But go on. The question is class ref. What one player would you like to see Chelsea bring in January?
I don't care about left winger backs. I think Whale can do it. Alonso can do it. Ashby can do it. Cho can do it. I need a DM. I need Declan Rice. I'm the biggest I'm the biggest critic of Declan Rice, right? And I'm the biggest supporter of Jorginho. But Jorginho time is over. We need to win Premier League. Declan Rice. In 6 months, you can see how Declan Rice has progressed. He's
good for Uncle John.
Billy Gilmore, no, don't bring Billy Gilmore, please. Don't.
Shit.
I've seen him play. He doesn't have.
Gilmore's 100 times better.
We know he's not.
We need him back. Yes, he is. We don't.
No, Gilmore's not better than Voice. Are you kidding?
We don't need this West Ham.
Let him finish. Go on.
I've seen Billy Gilmore. I've seen Norwich play. Billy Gilmore, listen, he can tackle. He's very aggressive, right? But he doesn't have concentration like Declan Rice. Declan Rice is a pure... Listen, I'm a fan of Declan Rice since I've seen him from last 3-4 months. That guy would win us Premier League. And he would get better of Lukaku and all the players around him. He'll get the better out of them because he's very stable. He has a composure. He has a height. He can also play as a central back. But DM, listen, this guy can run a team.
There you go. You've heard Clacker's reviews there, guys. I do need to leave nearly 3 hours of a stream. Big stream today, talking about everything Chelsea transfer-wise. If you did miss it, go and watch it back again if you've got a spare 3 hours. It's definitely worth watching. Make sure that you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below as well. Same question to you guys in the chat from Matty K. What one player would you like to come to Chelsea in January? Who do you think Chelsea need? Leave it in the comments below and we'll highlight them later. Make sure that you go and follow Couch Critic as well on his channel.
Big up, my boy.
Doing streams on there as well. I'm not sure when we're doing the next one, but yeah, I need to talk about it. But yeah, we do our streams on there as well. Who else has got a channel? No one else, is there? No. No one else here. Minerals has returned as well, but I am going to leave it there. I mean, Minerals, you just missed Clasprev's talk about Billy Gilmore being.
Yeah. I was going to say Gilmore we should bring him back ASAP.
100%.
100%. He's a baller. He's exactly what we need.
Yeah, he is. But do you know what?
Exactly, and he's free.
Yeah,
we need him.
I said before we actually finish it, I did say if we do need to strengthen in midfield, and if Kovacic and Kante are going to be up for a while, why rather than buy, just go and bring Billy Gilmore back in?
Send Sol back.
Agreed
Send
with
Sol
that.
back and bring Billy
Agreed with that.
Done.
Matty for manager. That's what I'm hearing.
Anyway, guys, take care of yourself. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you in a bit. Peace.
Up.